Okay, folks, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master this evening. Tonight, we are continuing our ongoing Scales of War campaign, but we're taking a bit of a detour. Because you see, tonight we're not going to be using 4th edition Dungeons & Dragons. We're going to be going back to revisit an old and long-time love of mine, Shadow of the Demon Lord. So tonight we are running a dungeon, and we're going to try and run it at a breakneck pace using the fantastic dark horror fantasy role-playing game published by Schwalb Entertainment and authored by the genius Robert Schwalb. With me tonight are our usual cast of characters. I'll go in the order that you guys are that you logged in on. Tell us who you are, who you're playing, and then we'll swap on over to Roll20. So, Steve-O, you were up first, I believe.
Yo, I'm Steve-O, and I'm playing Nutai Lethalis, an elf thief, brigand, with lots of chicks up his sleeve.
Lots of chicks up his sleeve?
That too.
That's what I heard too.
Nice. Second one to log in was, I believe, James.
That was me. I'm playing Ember, a tiefling, I guess, magician.
Yeah. Then I believe next to join it was Jeff.
Jeff, and I'm playing Oberon.
The Minotaur Ardent.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. And then last but not least, we've got Dave and Brent.
Okay.
I'll be playing Rakus Bloodhoof, brother to Oberon, and basically the party psychotic.
Nice. And Brent?
And I will be playing Halen, who is the Elvish monk.
Nice. Okay, so guys, I'm going to swap over the screens here and then fix my... what do I do here? Come on. Why are you not picking up? Hold up. My Google Plus is choosing not to recognize Firefox right now. So let me see. Let me try again. Come on, you share screen. Here we go. Come on. There we go. Okay, and let me just adjust. We only may need to adjust our cameras as well, just to get the cameras active in Roll20. I certainly need to do that. Camera off, and then I'll refresh Roll20. All right, folks. So to set the scene for this, I guess the our scene opens with a view of a sprawling hobgoblin camp. We see that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of these. Oops, what's going on here? Come on. There we go. There we go. Run, you little horse. And oh, my camera's still not working. What's going on? Why is my camera not? Actually, I'm not seeing anyone's camera. I wonder if I turned all the cameras off.
I can see
I can
Dave,
see.
and I can see James.
Yeah, I can see
on
Jeff.
on Roll20.
Yep.
And
It's
you
like
cannot
Robert-
see me.
But we don't see you. No.
You don't see me. Okay, so what's going on, camera? What is going on? Let's see. You know what? I will try refreshing one more time here and see if that makes a difference.
Okay, while you work on the camera, I've got an announcement. My character has taken up smoking. He has many cigars on him at all times, and he's always smoking a cigar.
Okay. Let's see here.
So if anybody wants a Minotaur cigar, you just ask, and Oberon is happy to supply you with one.
In the evening, perhaps.
Okay.
Is that an actual thing, Jeff?
Like smoking in this game? Sure.
Oh yeah. Incidentally,
Yeah.
in this version of our campaign world as well, firearms are a thing.
I don't know about actual Minotaur cigars, but I'm certainly imagining that they exist.
Okay. If this doesn't, I don't know why it's not working tonight, but if it does not, let's see here. If it doesn't work this time, we're just going to carry on without the cameras, I guess. Okay, so where? Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, you got a red.
Yeah, I got a red thing. What is going on? Okay, so the scene, as I said, was we're seeing this massive camp of hobgoblins, and there we go. Look at that. I'm gonna shift my camera over a little bit, but here we go. Boom.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
Your screen. I'm in the corner.
Okay. So we see this, like I said, sprawling camp of hobgoblin soldiers. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of them. There are massive ogres that are stomping throughout them, grabbing what they will as other goblins sort of protest and get smashed down by these ogres. Their camp itself is in this ruin where I can adjust my. Hold on here. Let's see here. Is that working? It is not. Weird. Okay. But the camera does not dwell on these the sprawling camp or any of these goblinoid subhumans. We instead focus on a group of 7 figures. I'm sorry, 6 figures. 5 humanoids and 1 fairly large feline that are slowly making their way down this collapsing, or this hole that descends down into the earth, where a old worn set of stone steps leads down into the catacombs or the crypts of the Vilicus family. This, of course, is Rivenroar. And our heroes, we see, are here to effect a rescue at Rivenroar. Now, guys, you have made your way slowly down here. You've already reconnoitered the area. I set up your sort of marching order here, guys, but if you want to adjust yourselves, please feel free to do that. What you see before you are 2 hobgoblin soldiers, each of them carrying a spear and a shield. And near the back, sitting at more of a sort of paying closer attention, I suppose, there are 2 goblin sharpshooters as well, 2 smaller green-skinned, as opposed to the orange, ruddy skin of the hobgoblins. You guys have set your had time to set your plans. You are ready to charge in, and I believe where we left last time was with you guys charging in. Now, you guys are going to have a surprise round in this, meaning you guys get to do a full round of actions before the other side gets to go. So, as I said, initiative in this works by, I first ask if anyone's taking a fast turn. In this case, there's really no benefit to taking a fast turn because you will be able to have a full round of actions before they get to go. So, Steve, I see you marking the character there. I really appreciate that. So you'll notice that you see Steve's putting a little red or a green thing on there. What he's doing is he's marking whether he's going to take a fast turn, which is a green, or a slow turn, which is a red. So when I say, hey, we're at the start of the turn, just go ahead and click on your character, put either a green or a red dot on there, and I'll know when everyone's going. And then you guys just go whenever you want. You guys can tell me what order you want to go in.
Sorry, what was fast and slow?
So if you click on the token, you'll see there's 2 different little toggles that will show up.
Yeah.
The one on the right, that one gives you an option of picking red or green.
But what is red and what is green?
Red is slow. Green is fast.
Wait.
So I'm assuming for this round, we don't necessarily need to mark because everyone's going to be taking a fast turn, or rather a slow turn. Fast turns are only really beneficial when you want to go before the bad guys go and you don't have to move. In this case, you guys are getting a surprise. So everyone's taking, I'm assuming, a slow turn. Okay. So who wants to go first?
Rakus will go.
Remember, we're doing abstracted movement, guys. So a move action will move you 1 zone, moving from the stairs to anywhere in the room. You don't need to position yourself on a square. You can position yourself wherever you want. Just describe what you want to do, and let's do this.
You know what? It doesn't actually let you position yourself not on a square.
Yeah, for this map, the subsequent maps, you will be able to.
Okay. So Rakus will yell out to the others behind him, I'll take the 2 in front. You get the 2 in the back.
Nice. Okay. So you go racing in, and then I take it that's your move to get into them. What are you doing as your action?
Rackus will go with Vicious Horns. So he'll
Vicious
charge. He'll charge.
Okay, so what a charge is, Dave, is a kind of action. So normally, like, charge is really advantageous when you want to take a fast turn, but you need to move. The downside to it is that you take a bane on all of your actions that round. So, but let's see what happens. Let's see. Ignore me. Let's see what happens. So what this means, Dave, is now your action can be to charge. So you'll be able to make a melee attack. And as your triggered action, you can use your horns. So go ahead and click on the Vicious Horns. Let's see how that works. You will have no banes or boons on this. Oh, no, sorry, Dave. You'll have 1 boon because you're catching them unawares.
Okay.
And then someone else decide who wants to go next. Holy shit. Okay, Dave, you don't need to roll that extra dice of damage because you're going to kill this guy. So as you go charging in, why don't you tell us how fucking badass you kill this first hobgoblin?
So Rackus charges in, horns down, impales him on his horns, lifts his head up as the blood from his body drips down onto Rackus.
Nice. So he's nothing to you. Now you get to make your attack. Go ahead and make your attack.
All right.
So this will be with 1 bane. No, sorry, nothing, because you get 1 bane from your charge, but you get a boon from this guy being unaware, so it'll cancel out. So just go ahead and make your normal battle axe roll.
Does he get a point in corruption? Because I say that's murder.
Not against a hobgoblin.
Now you said null sum of 0 for boons or banes, right?
Yeah, for extra modifiers. Yeah, just the normal boon you get with every weapon attack. Oh, that's not good. Not 1. So I guess the blood that's pouring down over you, it's obscured your eyes, and you swing wide over this completely unaware hobgoblin. Who's going next, guys?
I'll go next, and I'll use my monk-like ways to move up. Hold on, I just got to scroll on the screen. I'm gonna go after one of the
sharpshooters.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. So you're racing over, leaping over the gory mess that that Rackus has left. Why don't you? I don't know why you got a heart on you, but
because I'm full of love.
Okay, good stuff. So
I figured this game was very dark, so I was gonna add some goodness.
Okay, so what are you doing, Brent?
All right, I come running in, and I'm going to run, and I leap up and pull my spear and stab at him in a downward motion with the spear.
Nice. So you leap in and go ahead and make your attack roll. You got 1 boon.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Jeff. After you take your turn, turn off your color dot. That way we know who's gone.
Oh, okay.
But take your turn first, Brent. Holy shit.
So that means I can get another free action, right?
Okay, so why don't you first describe for us how this goblin dies?
I come running. Halen comes running in, and then he leaps. He gains speed as he gains momentum. He leaps up like only an elf can leap, or an elvish monk can leap.
Yep.
Raises his spear above him and brings it down through the hobgoblin's neck.
No, goblin, but yeah, through the
lands very lightly on his feet.
Beautifully. Okay, and then you recognize that you've got a bunch of momentum. So what are you doing with your extra action?
All right.
Here's a suggestion I can make, Brent. So you will notice that one of the attack options that I mentioned is something called a lunging attack, which extends your reach by 1 yard. So if you want to then attack that other dude, you could just take a bane on the attack roll.
All right, and don't I have something that moves me a bit extra?
You've got celerity, but that's an action. You know what, Brent? No, you could cast Celerity as a triggered action. Costs you 1 mana.
And then that would move me
You
in.
know what? I don't think I said. Hold on, but I got to set up your mana bar. 1 sec here. I forgot to do that. One.
Okay, so key
There you go.
focus. Okay, it just makes me move faster. I can't break up my speed. Okay, I got it.
You want to spend, it would cost you 1 mana to cast Celerity as a triggered action, or you can just take a boon. You're getting a boon from attacking these things by surprise, so really it's just a normal roll you're making. Because that boon will cancel the bane you get from a lunging attack.
Is this a new phase?
Okay, well, let me do the lunging attack. Is there anything I click on specifically for a lunging attack?
No, it's just a narrative thing. Like basically, if you want to do anything special with your attack, the way that like you model like a power attack or something like that in this game is this way. You take a bane and then you do something neat with your attack.
Okay, he pulls the spear out and he just sort of lunges and like sort of extends his torso forward, leans into it, and extends with his full reach with the spear to skewer the guy or attempt to skewer the guy in the chest.
Go ahead and make your attack roll, and then someone decide who's going to go next.
I'll go next.
Okay.
I'm going to do a fiery bolt at this guy.
Okay, 1 second here. 15 is, I think, good enough. Yes, just good enough, Brent. So go ahead, and 9 damage. Yeah, so he dies too, Brent.
Yay.
That's amazing. So, and which you're casting fiery bolt against someone there, James?
This guy.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll. You get 1 boon because he's completely unaware.
What about the corruption? Or is that a one-time thing?
That's when you gain corruption. Yeah, it's when you gain a point of corruption, then you would gain, you would get that benefit for 1 minute.
Okay.
Oh, yikes. Okay, so the damage isn't great, but you do get to roll an extra d6. So you're gonna have to just hit like / d6 or 1d6, or sorry, / roll 1d6. 4, so it's 5 points of damage. Now, I mentioned that you have fortune points. James, if you want to kill this fucker outright, you could spend a fortune point to make that 1 a 6.
No, I'm going to hold on to my point.
Hold on to your fortune points. Okay, so this fiery bolt dashes out from your hand, hits this guy, and it injures him. He's quite badly scorched, but he's still standing. Staggering back and trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Who's going next, guys? Actually, and James, you can move if you want as well. Go ahead and position yourself wherever.
I'm going to stay right where I am.
Okay. Who wants to go next, guys? Steve-O or Jeff?
Go ahead, Steve.
Alrighty, thanks. I may as well do something. Well, he's got a short sword, so I guess he'll move up, or he can draw, right, and move?
Yep. I'm assuming you have it out.
Yeah, okay. Let's attack.
Okay. So you get 1 boon on the attack.
Right, we'll use my trickery.
That's included in your stats already, or should be at least. You don't need to worry about. I'm assuming that whatever. Yeah, the trickery and the bonus from backstab and from trickery is already included in your roll.
Okay. So in that case, I'm going to go down to my weapon, small sword. Oh, where's the roll? Oh, there it is. I just roll it.
Yeah. And then add 1 extra boon.
1 extra boon.
Yeah, because you're catching this guy unawares. Holy shit! So you kill this guy, and then you have another action. Any cool flourish, and you get that other action because of exploit opportunity.
I will over top of him and watch him fall over. Oh no, because that's it, right? That's the only guys in the room.
That's the only guys in the room.
I will not. Oh no, that's it.
That's it.
Okay, Oberon.
I will nonchalantly watch him fall.
Nice.
Oberon walks into the room. He spits out the cigar that he's been chewing for a bit. He reaches out with his sort of psychic energy and he feels his allies. He says, "Well, aren't you an anxious sponge?" And he reaches out and he pulls out a fresh cigar and he lights it up.
Nice.
And he whistles and Kitty comes in by his side.
Nice. Jeff, you go ahead and get a fortune point for that. That was fun. Okay, guys, so you're in this room now, and as you can see, there are two big braziers that are burning with some kind of oil inside them in each of the corners. You do remember that horn that the hobgoblins blew from before out from outside to summon their allies? You see one of those on the hook, on the belt of the hobgoblin, and there are three doors. Or rather, three sets of doors that seem to lead out of here. What are you going to do?
3 doors, eh?
Yeah.
Oberon's going to reach out with his sort of psychic powers and just see if he has any inkling of which direction the hostages are.
Okay.
So he's trying to sense fear.
Trying to sense fear. Okay. Why don't you give me a will check? Yeah, geez, you know, it's gonna be a will challenge, but I'm gonna give you you get a bane, or rather a boon, because of the cultist background for both you and for Brent. It's kind of like the catch-all psychic one.
Okay.
So you get a boon from that, but I'm going to give you 2 banes because of, you know, there's just a ton of people in here. There's probably a lot of static, like psychic static. So make a perception check with 1 bane. Oh, sorry, challenge. So you just need a 10 or higher.
Perception or will?
I think perception.
Okay, so click on.
I know
perception.
will's a better stat, but I think it's that you're trying to. You know,
so you do -1, right? If you want a boon or a bane.
Right. That's right. Boon is, or a bane is -1. Whoa! Fucking amazing. Okay.
Nice. That's a good roll.
I'm trying to think what's closest here. The closest sense that you get of a nearby ally or a nearby like sense of fear is from over in this direction here.
So Oberon indicates that I think we should head right.
Okay.
I'm casting arcane armor myself to prepare for this.
Okay. Nice. So that'll cost you 1 mana. Go ahead and reduce your mana. And Steve and James, go ahead and take your color token off. Remember that when you take your action, just take your color token off your or color dot off your token. Awesome. Okay, so your defense is 2 higher. That's great. What does that look like, James? It doesn't have to glow or anything. Like, I'm picturing it being like a... Oh, go ahead.
It looks like she's on fire. Little flips of embers kind of periodically just spontaneously pop off.
So it's as if she's so like standing over a campfire constantly.
Yep.
With a little like embers. Oh, that's fucking cool. You can have a fortune for that.
Hey, James, so is this sort of like, you know, when you hit a log that's in the fire and it's all charcoaly and a piece breaks off, but then her flesh is still fine underneath?
Yep.
Awesome. I like
really
that.
Cool. Okay. So Oberon has indicated sort of a direction. What are you guys going to do?
Rakus will stand beside him and say to him, "Fight with me, brother."
Then fight on we shall. And he heads to this door on the right.
Okay. So as soon as one of you guys tries to open the door, you find that you can't turn the handle. It's stuck.
Okay, Oberon takes a step back and he says, "Brother," and he indicates for him to knock the door down.
I should note it's you know, here, give me a perception challenge, Oberon.
Sure.
Actually, no, I'm forcing something on you that let's see what happens to the perception, and I'll let you maybe deal with this information. It's just a no boons, no banes. Nice. Okay. Yeah. It's not that it's locked. It's that it won't open.
Mm. Which way does the door go?
Normally, it should pull towards you, and it won't even move. Like there's not even a give to it whatsoever.
What's it made out of?
It's made out of really heavy wood, like like a salt, like a teak or an oak or something like that. Really solid iron bands on it. There's a carving on it to sort of indicate the celebrate the Vilicus family. Ember, would you give me an intellect challenge, please?
Oh, I was going to.
And I'll give you a boon. Yeah, I'll give you a boon from Wizard's Apprentice and from. You would have got one from Wizard's Apprentice, and you would have got one from History as well. So just take a boon and make an intellect challenge.
All right.
Oh, nice one. Okay, so what you're sort of watching this, and you see it's not moving at all, and your immediate thought is, well, it's magically sealed. There's no barrier or whatever else too. So you think that, well, there must be, if that one's magically sealed, it makes you think of question whether the other doors are magically sealed, and it also makes you think that there must be a way to unlock that. You had heard that the Vilicus family was a family of necromancers, right? So that means they are skilled in the sorcerous arts. It also means that you also know that there were those goblin shaman and witch doctors that were amongst the Red Horde as well too. So there's who knows who's the one who cast that, but
can I do a sense magic? Where did she go?
Yeah, I think I know which one you mean. So it costs you
magic on the braziers.
Absolutely. Well, here's the way it works: is you cast it, and then you can see anything within. Like, why don't you click on the spell? So you know if there's any ongoing magical effects in a sphere with 5-yard radius centered on you. So that's 15 feet out from you.
So just move a little closer.
So it'll cost you 1 mana to cast that. So go ahead and take that off your total. And you, I think that you see it as sort of like if you imagine that it's not what you're seeing, but the way that you would interpret it as a non-magician is if the rest of the world was gray, but the sources of magic were colored. Mm-hmm. And what you see is there is very solid, shimmering, like a deep, almost amber yellow aura around each of the doors. And you're sort of looking around, and you see that there's a very similar aura coming from the belt of one of the fallen hobgoblins.
Okay. I'll go over to the hobgoblin and reach into his belt.
Okay. So you reach into his belt, and actually you don't even have to reach in. What you find is there is this really intricately carved like little, it's a kind of like a mallet. It's not a war hammer, it's a tool, but it's a hammer of some kind that is very solid, iron made. It's clearly not been well cared for, but it distinctly has a magical aura on it. Because you wasted mana to cast this, what I'll tell you is this is a hammer of opening and closing. And what it does is it can magically open or magically close all doors, windows, chests, whatever, a certain number of times per day. It's 3 times per day. It's already been used once today, but this is what they've been using to open and close to seal these doors.
James, have you been saying anything to our characters? Because if not, I'm pretty sure that Oberon and Brackus have been beating this door with their axes while you've been around.
I haven't said anything.
Okay, we're probably like chopping away at the door.
Well, here, let's do this then. The doors is, are you attacking the door, or are you trying to force it open?
Probably trying to chop a hole through it.
Okay, so guys, just give me a couple. I'm going to say it took at least, it's enough time for you guys to make 3 attacks. So go ahead and click on your weapons, and we'll see how much damage you do.
Hey, Kev, what's the difference between a raging battle axe and just a battle axe?
The raging battle axe includes the bonus or the calculations you get from when you're raging.
I see. Okay.
I wanted to make it easy for you to so you don't have to add an extra dice.
Okay.
Okay, so we got 18 damage there from the first round. Oh, it's 18 from 2, 27.
So we're at 36,
30.
and Dave should swing a couple more.
Yeah, so I think what happens here, guys. And Nute jumps in. No, sorry. Steve, that small sword's not going to do an awful lot against a door. Yeah.
Well, he did 13 damage.
No, he's helping us by like prying the bands off.
Okay, guys. So
basically,
new Ember. By the time you sort of have noticed that this is, that you've got this hammer of opening and closing, you look around and they've fucking demolished one of the doors. So, give me a sec here, guys. I'm just going to reorient you guys. I'm going to move everyone together so I can cut and paste, and I'll move you to the new room. James, you can go into your character sheet and you can go ahead and put down under your items. You can put down a hammer of opening and closing.
Where's her items?
Got your magic item now.
Equipment.
Okay, and let me move you to where, let's see here. So going through that door, which leads to, are you guys sure you wanted to go that way?
Door number 2.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so I'm just going to paste you guys in here. Oh yeah, look at that! Look at that! I'm assuming the Minotaur brothers are taking the lead again. Rawr. And Kitty will come up around here, and Amber. You know what I'll do is actually I'll turn off the what do you call it? The grid quickly as well before I move you guys over here, so you're not stuck snapping to the grid each time too. Okay, hold on here. Grid disabled.
I love how we saved you a magical charge on your new item there, James.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
That's exactly what you guys were planning, right?
A charge on your new item.
Yeah, you saved a charge. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right, guys. Boom. This is where you find yourself.
Oh, interesting.
So you
some stairs.
You walk in, and you can see that there is a staircase leading down. I know it shows that it's leading up, but that's actually wrong. Unless you guys tell me that you are listening, to try and keep in the sort of like old school spirit for this dungeon crawl. Unless you tell me that you're specifically listening for something, I'm not going to roll any perception. I'm assuming you guys are chatting with each other and whatnot too. You've got a monk who's pretty good at sneaking around, but you've got a thief who's astoundingly good. Steve basically gets like 3 boons on every stealth check.
And just imagine that unless either of the elves ask us to quiet down, the Minotaurs are not quiet.
Okay. So the Minotaurs
will
are
definitely be asking you to quiet down once we get into a new room, and he'll probably move ahead and try to see if he can hear anything. He's just used to hunting, and then
sometimes
usually. All right, maybe I'll just. He says that he looks at you and says, "When one hunts, one is generally quiet."
Rakus and Robert sort of giggle.
Okay.
Kevin, I think behind us, does anything happen to the door? Does it remain destroyed?
Yes, it doesn't magically reform. It seems like the extent of the magic of the hammer is to actually just close the doors.
Okay, and how long does the sense magic last? It's just for like a.
It's an instantial kind of thing. So you cast it, and it's, you'll get sort of a sense, and that's it. Steve, did you want to go with your fellow elf?
Sure, I'll sneak.
So both you guys give me a agility challenge, please. And actually, it's not a challenge because it's going to be against something's perception. Both of you guys will get an extra boon on it because of the darkness. But Steve, you've got 2 extra boons on top of that, so you'll have 3 boons. But actually, both of you guys also get to add your trickery. So Steve, you got 4 boons, and Brent, you have 2. Okay. Wait, no, because you also get from your career. God damn it! So Brent, you got 3 boons, and Steve, you got 5 boons on this.
That should work out. All right.
That should work out pretty well. Go ahead and make your rolls, guys.
Kablam. There you go.
You guys are sneaking down or what?
Yeah, we're gonna reconnoiter, see what's what.
Okay.
Okay. So both of you guys, why don't you move your tokens as far forward as you can, and I'll just adjust the.
Oberon does like a very mimicky, tiptoeing, sneaky thing behind them quietly.
Okay. And actually, you guys have dark vision too. So can you move yourselves down the hallway, guys? There you go. Nice. Okay. Now, you guys have. Let me just adjust your tokens. Sorry. No. If don't everyone move down, or those stealth rolls are blown.
Hey, Steve, you can put a ninja icon on your character.
I should do that.
We're stealthy.
Indeed.
Okay.
What are we doing? Oh, I see. You're like half invisible.
Okay, 1 sec here. There we go.
Ninja. There we go. Nice.
1 sec here. I'm trying to. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let me give you 50 feet. I'm going to see if this this works, guys. I'm trying to mess with the advanced fog of war to see if I can grant you the light you need to see here.
Do you see him on
So,
yours?
Do you guys see anything? Just kidding.
all right. Okay, ready, guys? Here we go. Ein, Spy,
So nothing on mine.
Drei. Brent and Steve, can you see down into that room now?
No.
Okay.
Can you guys? Can your character, the rest of your characters, see our icons? I know Dave can't see us.
Well, you got no light there. Hold on, I need to give you
I can
some.
barely see you. You guys are on the edge of my vision.
They're there, but they're faded out.
Yeah, you're starting to
Here we
fade
go.
out.
Give me a second. Ready?
I can just see you a little
There you
ninja
go.
guys clothes on.
All right, cool. Now, yeah, we can totally see now.
Oh, we can we? No, you can.
No, this is the fun of. Oh, 1 sec here. Let's get the wrong.
Well, that's kick ass. Like,
Okay.
we still see shit.
Yeah, that's the thing I love about this. The what do you call it?
Oops.
Hey,
Fog of war is that
That's such a cool feature.
it really is. Okay, so there you go, Steve. Can you see now too?
Yes.
Awesome. Go ahead and move yourself forward as don't move into the room if you don't want to get spotted, but you can move yourself as far forward as you like. I'm just going to check something here quickly. I think that something is downloading updates tonight because my computer is moving really slow.
Yeah, you might want to check that. Oberon's blowing smoke rings in the hall.
Okay, so you're puffing away at the far end of the hall. And it's not that, I don't know. All right, so that's what you see down there, guys, is in that room, there is a nasty looking goblin who's wearing like a shaggy cloak that seems to be made out of various scraps of like hide and like maybe little tufts of hair and the small pelts of animals. And he's got a little cauldron in the corner there that he's sort of, cackling over. He's got a staff he's hunched over with. And as he speaks in this thing, you can see these weird green wispy tufts of mist come up, and they all seem to be shaped like a kind of screaming face that then falls back in. And you can see that in the across the room there, you see where those yellow things are?
Yeah.
Those are very, very old runes that have been carved or set into the floor. There's a bunch of dust and detritus that's collected on them. The stones that make up the floor in here seem very uneven. But in the walls, those alcoves that are there, there's shelves of bones. The rotted remains of the generations of Vilicus family that has been laid to rest in here. But this goblin seems to have disturbed some of them. He has what's called a bit of a little skull in his hand, a human skull that he's sort of like and gesturing in. And you're, yeah, you don't recognize the language. I don't think either of you guys speak Goblin, but he's working some kind of magic or something. What would you guys like to do?
Well, now that we see them, let's go down and confer with our companions, and then maybe get Ember to come back up with us to get an idea of what's going on.
Okay. Here's one other thing I'll point out too, guys. Remember that you can spend a point of fortune to get a success. So in the same kind of like leg drive a speeder bike stance that we get from some other games, even though Amber may not be awesome at stealth, she can always just spend a fortune and automatically succeed. So
wait, say it again.
So
James or Amber, would you like to come join us and tell us what's going on?
One sec, Brian. I just want to explain the rules again. So James, remember you can spend a fortune to get an automatic success. So if you're not, say your agility's not great and you don't have a profession that would grant you a boon towards that kind of thing, you can just spend a fortune point and get an auto success.
Mm-hmm.
So for that scene, you can be really sneaky. I'm not saying that you need to do that. I just want to point that out as an option. So why don't you guys move yourself back to where your allies are, and then what are you guys going to do?
I'll ask him. What did you guys see?
We see a hobgoblin doing.
Goblin. It even says on the token, man. It says goblin.
We see a goblin doing some crazy magic. Why don't you come take a look? Tell us what's going on.
Kevin, I'm going to cast Truth Hero myself. Seeing as how these guys have been speaking, I don't understand what they're saying.
Okay. Awesome. So go ahead and deduct your mana. So Amber
3
pulls out her grimoire. What does her grimoire look like, James?
It's bound in human skin for sure.
I was trying to envision something. I was trying to actually envision something kind of nasty, but it's a red leather book, kind of torn and tattered around the edges.
Okay.
Just pages of vellum.
Awesome. So you pull this thing out, you flip through, and then you speak the words, and now you can not only understand all spoken words that you hear, you can also tell whether they're telling the truth or not. Now, if you're going to sneak up there...
Oops, hit it again. I didn't realize that was a spoken truth thing.
Yeah, that's the other badass thing with it. I'm going to ask you to please give me an agility check. Let's see. You can sneak up on this dude. I think you'll get one boon because he's distracted.
You know what? I'll use a fortune.
Here's the thing. You can decide on fortune after you roll.
Oh.
Yeah, because you convert failure into success.
Okay. No boons?
One boon because he's distracted with what he's doing, his magic. Okay. Okay. So go ahead and move yourself forward. Nute, were you going back with him? I'm sorry, not Nute. Halen?
Yeah, I'll accompany him back up.
Okay. And then Nute, if you want to go back, you go ahead and you guys don't need to make another stealth check. You guys are both already super fucking stealthy. So you go heading up there, and then Steve, I'll leave it to you to move yourself up if you want to. Remember, he doesn't seem to be distracted, but what he's chanting is, something the spirits come and rise, spirits bind to mine, spirits hear my call. You shall be Sinruth's enemies' demise. And he's chanting similar things over and over again as he's talking to this, this skull. Brackus, if you're moving yourself up there, go ahead and give me an agility check. Now, remember that if you've got a profession that you think would apply, you can make a case for it to get a boon.
Well, I mean, he is a tracker, so he.
Yeah. Well, trackers, I'm not sure if trackers need to be quiet. But I'll give you a boon. So you get 2 boons on this. One from the fact that the shaman is sort of distracted. Go ahead. So agility check with 2 boons, please. Holy shit. Yeah, you are way quieter than I thought. Go ahead and position yourself. So it is only Oberon and Kitty, I think, who are left behind.
All right. I guess I'll try and quietly move up.
Hey, you unfortunately are wearing heavy armor, so you will take a bane from that. But you do get a boon because, again, the guy's distracted. So it'll just be a regular agility challenge.
Not bad.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, you go ahead and move yourself right up there. So you guys can all hear this now, and you're sort of right near the bottom of the stairs, and you get yourself far enough down so you're not quite in. There's a little bit of light that's coming from these the runes as well too on the floor, and then also a little bit of a green glow from that pot where the goblin is sitting. So what are you guys going to do?
Ember, what's he doing?
Good call. Ember, give me an intellect challenge, and I'll give you a boon from your wizard's apprentice profession.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So if you roll a 10 or higher, that you get just a basic idea that it's some kind of necromantic spell. Because you beat 20, he is basically trying to resurrect all the corpses, all the leftover bones and shit in each of these alcoves around here. He's trying to raise all of them. And the runes on the ground there seem to be something to amplify necromantic magics.
Well,
Okay,
we
we have
should
to
probably
stop.
stop him.
Yeah. Quick.
All right.
Or else we're going to be
Surprise
facing
charge?
more than just him.
I'm going to assume you guys are all taking slow turns on this first one, so you can you don't need to mark your characters. But who would like to go first?
Me. I'm up front.
Okay. What are you doing?
I'm going to run in and
Before Brent does, I'm just doing this. I flame strike the guy.
sure.
Okay.
As
Okay.
I'm running.
No, before you
Go
run.
ahead.
I hit
Okay,
my.
so you hit that thing and wham! This explosion of fire knocks over his. Wow, great damage too. He gets an agility challenge to try and take half damage. No wounds or anything. Okay, so he does take half damage from it. So this fire explodes, but clearly this is not this guy's first time around an exploding fire. And he kind of throws himself down, and the explosion does wash over him, but it's only like surface burns to his shoulder and his arm, and he turns around and sees you guys. That skull
I was
still in
hoping it
his
was
hand.
enough. I was hoping it was enough to distract him at least a little bit.
Oh yeah, he's distracted as he stopped his chanting. Who wants to go next?
Me again.
Where are you going?
Okay. So I put a green icon on him then?
Okay, Brent. Now here's sorry, I've got one bit of bad news for you.
I'm not going to step on the ruins, if that's what you're asking.
Too late. Too late. You didn't say you didn't. You didn't say you avoided it. So
I know
You
enough
moved-
that like they were dead
sorry,
people.
Brent. Then you should have said that. So you move
I
right
was still
here.
moving in.
Would you please make an agility challenge for me, please?
That's dirty pool. If I'd moved around on the icon, like
No, then Brent, it's a narrative game. You could have easily described it. You specifically avoided that, but you didn't.
all right, what do you want
It's
me to
almost as if I'm using tough love to encourage narrative descriptions.
That's a polite way of putting it.
Yes,
Doing an agility.
please.
Okay.
So you will get a boon on that too, Brent. Well, you already rolled in that 20. So, okay. So what happens, Brent, is as you start moving into this, suddenly these hands they reach up from the ground and are sort of like, grabbing behind, but you're so quick that you're able to dance across them. There's this like trail, like a kind of like a contrail behind Halen of these bony hands that reach up from between the cobblestones and try and grab him. But you're able to get there without incident, Brent. He is aware of what's happening right now, so you're not going to get a boon from that, but you will have your normal stuff.
Okay. I'm going to mighty attack him.
Brent, I just want to point out again, you've used the wrong color because you're using, remember, a slow turn is when you get to do a move and an action.
Okay, so I need to go red.
Well, you don't need to, just for the sake of when we do have a combat, when you guys are all acting at the same time. It's just important to make that distinction. Okay, so sorry, Brent, what were you saying?
Okay, so I'm going to do a mighty strike.
Okay, nice. Go ahead and click on that. And you know what, Brent? I think I described him as sort of like falling to the ground. So get a boon because you're he's prone.
All right.
More than 20.
All right. So what I'm going to do then is I am also going to activate my key strike.
Yep.
And I'll do an extra 2 points.
That's good.
2 points. Oh, that's still pretty good.
And then I will use my extra action to refocus my key.
Nice. Okay, cool. This guy is nearly dead. He got blown to the ground, and then you come racing over. And did you kick him or punch him?
Because he's already on the ground. Yeah, as he starts lifting up to like pull himself up, I like come in and spin kick him in the head.
Okay, and there's this massive psychic release as you release your key strike, and his jaw is cracked. He's gonna have a really and completely dislocated, so he will have a hard time doing any more necromantic magics at this point. Who'd like to go next?
Yeah.
Guys, anybody? Steve-O, Jeff, Dave. First
Come
come,
up
first serve.
here. Come hang out with me. Avoid the skulls.
Does Halen say anything that he needs help?
Wait.
He hasn't said anything. No.
Oh, someone just went on the platform.
Okay, so new Tate, I need
No,
you
I'm
to
just
get
moving. Hold on. I'm just moving.
Sure. Because of where you're moving. Again, you know what? You didn't specifically tell me you were avoiding it, so I do need you to make an agility check for me, or an agility challenge.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Just my cursor only moves so far. Agility.
Sure.
Do I get a boon?
Nope. Oh yeah, you do from well. If you use it on this, you can't use it on your attack. Because trickery can only be used once per turn.
Okay. Right. But trickery can only be used on an attack. What does it say?
No, you can only use it once per turn. You can use it on an attack or on a challenge, but only once per turn.
So let's use it. Sure, I'll use it on this challenge.
Okay, so take a boon.
Okay. Kapow. Ooh.
Yep, good enough. That's a challenge. Okay, so you're able to make your way across.
All right.
So let's see here. Now, you do not have a boon on this attack now. Oh wait, hold on. You do because of your because he's prone. So, Steve, why don't you just hit when it prompts you, put in 1 bane. That'll balance out the math for it.
Okay. So small sword, I think 1 bane, -1.
So it's just -1.
Here we go.
Okay.
Boom, still got a 16.
Yeah. So how does this guy die?
I just take a quick hack at his, and it was a bit brutal. It wasn't very finesse. Just a hack at his face, and his jaw falls to the floor, and he bleeds out.
Okay, so he's sort of like his little tongue sort of lolls in the air, and then falls down, gurgling, dead. The only sound left in the room is the gurgling of his cauldron. Oberon, would you kindly give me another perception check? This time with 2 boons.
-2. That's disgusting.
Oh, sorry, two. No, Jeff, 2 boons, not 2 banes.
Oh.
Yeah, you succeeded anyway, so that's fine. So, guys, you get into the room, and as you can see, there is over here. Those of you who aren't in the room yet, you can go ahead and move yourself up.
I'm not stepping on the runes.
Right here, yeah, good call. Ember, do you provide a warning to the Minotaur brothers?
Yes. Do not step on the glowing runes.
Okay, so you guys can still, because the hands sort of like, fall into dust right after they reach up. So what you guys can see is there's another door right over here, and I don't know what is going on with my computer tonight, but it's fucking crawling. Holy smokes! Right here, at that door, Oberon, you can sense a feeling of anguish and fear coming from the other side.
Oh, I tell everybody that immediately.
Okay. What are you guys going to do?
You said there's a door on the other side?
There's a door that leads to you. You could always open the door if you like.
Absolutely.
From here, that
I'm gonna let the Minotaurs break it down.
Okay. So you hang back. The Minotaurs, this door is not, or these 2 doors are not secured the way the other one was. This just you turn it and it opens.
Oh, okay.
So I'll move you guys. Let me just reposition here so I can move you all in. Kitty is sort of trotting behind you, waiting. Sort of bats at the goblin bud. Or the dead goblin, and sort of laps at his blood a little bit, and you kind of like, no, don't eat that.
Kitty, no.
Bad kitty.
Oh, Steve, or hold on, please don't. I moved you guys because I want to be able to cut and paste.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I need to get your tokens so I can get you to the new room. Hey, so you guys open that room. Interesting. That was your decision? Oh my goodness. I can't believe you guys chose that room.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the loot is.
Wouldn't have mattered.
well, that's where the sad souls are. We had to choose that room.
This is where the people are. We rescued them. The adventure's done.
Told you I wanted to blow through the dungeon, guys. Okay, so,
Hey Jeff, can you psychically sense gold?
No, currently no gold. Psychically sensed.
okay, guys, so this is what you see. You walk through the door. There is a long corridor. Not a long corridor, a relatively short corridor that then turns. There's a damp feeling in this room. And then you, Amber's the one who's sort of emanating the light. You guys can see that chained to the wall. And very crudely, it's not like this is a dungeon. It's some chains, and then like someone has hammered a bolt into the wall of this crypt. There is a dwarven man sitting. He kind of looks up and sort of shrinks back, and then because he sees the Minotaur first walk in, and then he sees an elf, and he looks at you. Who are you?
Patrick, is that you?
Patrick?
Yes. And he sort of scrambles to his feet. I'm Adric. Who are you?
I'm Oberon, and these are my friends. We've come to rescue you.
We are your doom.
You've come. You're from Brindol.
Yes.
Well, do you know? Have you found the others?
The first one we found.
There's more of us. My wife died, but there's 6 more.
Do you have any idea where they are?
Oh, they keep moving us around. They keep fitting blindfolds on as well, torturing us. Now, what do you guys do?
Well, I guess move into the room and see if we can unchain them.
Yeah, so it's easily done that. You take the chains off. Again, guys, I want you to think you can feel free to take a little more charge of the narrative if you want to. I don't. If you
What
want to
shape is he in?
He's beaten up, but I mean he's a dwarf, so he's tough as old shoe leather. So if you get in there and you get him free, guys, I'm going to move him down. Who would like to control Adric?
Adric. Oh, I thought it was Patrick.
No.
Adric. Yeah.
Okay, guys, you can see in the characters folder, there is now Adric. All of you guys have control over him, and all of you guys can access his character sheet. If you take a look at the character sheet, guys, you can see that bless you, he is an alchemist. Bless you. He's an alchemist, and he's got some alchemy spells.
Patrick the Outcast.
So, and we're not going to do. I didn't want to track mana, so you can just use his spells that you can use a certain number of times. So you can cast each of them 2 times. If you guys go on the spell tab, you can see what his spells do, and I'll let you guys decide who wants to control Adric. Adric, I'm assuming you give him a little staff, but he has no armor right now. He says, "We've got to free the others." The boy. There's a boy here too.
We will get the boy.
The young one. How far have you come? How did you get in past the army?
We snuck in.
He snuck in. He looks up at the 2 minotaurs. You don't strike me as the sneaky type.
With these 2?
And that's because you don't know it.
Sorry, what was that, Dave?
And that's because you don't know us.
Ah, fair, cowman. Fair enough. All right. Now,
Which one's Adric?
you want to go now, or Adric should be in your character folder? Those greedy bastards. They took.
That's how I quickly identified them. I opened all of them before we started the.
Kevin, what is this?
That is a well.
No, okay.
Or sorry, it's not a well. It is it is a trap, and it only triggers when you bring it to the DM's attention that he didn't describe it.
Awesome.
Hold on 1 second. That is the source. Oh, it is a fountain, and it appears to be. You smell it. It's damp, but the water isn't like brackish or anything like that. Like it's not water that's gone sour. If you guys, are so inclined, you could, in theory. Let's see here. Who's I think Brent's exile background or profession and Dave's and Jeff's nomad professions. You guys would be able to sort of like figure out what's good water, bad water. This is perfectly fine. Like you could fill your water skins with this.
Okay.
So what you know is that what Adric says is that he's got some basic abilities that he can use, basic alchemical abilities, but his creation of potions, he can't use that until someone's taken his alchemy kit. He knows that they have it here somewhere. They grabbed all his stuff from his lab, but yeah, they're not sure where where they stored that stuff.
Somewhere.
So,
Is it in the well?
Fountain, not a well.
No. Great.
Okay. You guys figured out what you want to do. I'm just going to run to the washroom very quick. I'll be right back.
Well, let's go find the people.
Oh, there's no other room in here? Or door? Nope. All right.
Like, Adric would know where they were kept, right? Would he recognize the surroundings?
No, he was blindfolded.
Yeah, they moved him around.
Although Oberon was doing a pretty good job at, like, sensing where...
I could try that.
I think that was working really well.
Yeah, I'm cool to try that again.
Do it.
I have to wait for the DM.
Ooh. All right. So, what's the plan, guys?
Oberon's going to try and sense again and see if he can sense anything.
Sure. Why don't you give me? Let's see here. What did I say before?
I think I used perception.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be. Let me see where. I tried an easy way. Oh, you know what? It's only one bane, but you get one boon because of your psychic stuff. So yeah, so it'll be basically a raw perception check, please.
All right, here we go. Nice.
Nice. So over in this direction, where I'm pinging, there is someone with who's very, very, very scared over there. Now, guys, if you choose to outfit Adric with others, like if you find armor or you find other stuff, we will upgrade his stats appropriately. So he's got a higher defense and stuff like that. But somebody just please, someone call dibs and just control Adric for me, because I don't want to control him. Yeah, you can control the token.
Oh, where is he?
Hurry up, you little dwarf.
Oops.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
I'll control him.
Okay. Just move him up with the
Squishy's
rest of
stay
you
together.
guys.
I don't see him though. He's not on the map.
Yeah, where'd he go?
Can you guys just not see?
Oh, he has no light count.
Yeah.
I can't grab him.
Oh, hold up.
Yeah, I can't
Now,
grab either.
one sec here. For some reason, here we go. What is going on? There we go.
Here we go. So
Okay, there he is.
he's my meat shield.
Yeah, and let me just make the bar visible to everyone. Okay.
Kevin, I don't need a light anymore. I've got dark vision.
That's what I'm giving it for the benefit of everyone else.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm going to move everyone up here. I'm going to move you back to that first room. Just because that is probably the easiest place to go next for you to decide where you want to go. Okay, boom. So you make your way along back through that room where it's over here. Delete those others. Where the it's a bit of a mess. Where the goblin shaman's remains are still lying. Once again, Kitty sort of stops and kind of starts licking at them. Okay, what is going on here? Why is that not working? Let's see.
Frankie. This was our baby. This was our third act. This is what no one.
Okay. All right. So let me move you guys back to the room here. Sorry, guys. I'm kind of playing my own fucking game here right now. Voila. Okay. So there were 2 other doors in this room that you recall, and both of which are still sealed by whatever magics are in the hammer of opening and closing.
Amber strides over, pulls the hammer out of her belt pouch, and taps the door.
Which? Oh, that one. Okay, cool. So there's a. You can sense that there's a shuddering as both doors are now open.
And then I push the door. Oh, you said it's open?
Yes. Well, it's able to
Unlocked.
be open
Okay.
now.
So she's going to push it open, and she's going to look at the Minotaurs like, this is how it's done.
Okay. Do the Minotaur brothers have anything to say?
They just laugh.
Okay. We collect everyone here. Now you open the door, and there is a bit of a hallway that stretches down and then angles to the right. It's only about 20 feet down. And
So it slopes down?
no, it's as you open the door. What is going on here? What have I done?
Have you two ever considered less conventional?
There we go. There we go. Let's see here.
Success outside social norm. Find an arrangement that works best for that.
Okay, so what is going on in this map here? Hold on, why is... Oh, that's why. Okay. So guys, here's what you see. Now, unfortunately, as you walk in, you did not tell me that anyone was reconnoitering or anything like that. So you guys sort of walk your way down, and you and this small group of hobgoblins, which appear to be in some kind of barracks, they're all sort of milling around and talking to each other. And then they hear you guys walking around the corner, and they all sort of turn and look and like, "Rrr!" and see you guys. And Adric yells out, "You're gonna die, you bastards!" So, would you kindly mark yourself if you are taking a fast turn or a slow turn? I'm not telling you what the hobgoblins are doing. So remember, the fast turn means you get to make either a move or an action, and a slow turn means you get to take both. Green is fast turn, red is slow turn.
You know what? Rakus likes Adric's moxie, and he gives him his javelin.
Oh.
You will have given him his javelin. Okay. What does your javelin do? Does it do 1d6?
I want to say yes. Hold on just a second.
You have to back out. You know what? Here, I can find it. It's actually easier probably for me. It's in the rule book as well.
1d3 plus 1d6.
Okay, so javelin actually does 1d3 then, because your 1d6 is from your combat prowess or your other thing. Yeah, javelin does 1d3, but he can throw it up to medium range though. So he could use it as a basically just use the same attack, and I'll just divide it. Click on his whoever controls Adric. Okay, so the only Nute and Halen, you need to pick your turns, guys.
Okay. Hey, Kev.
First, can you pick your turn? Then can you tell me?
Well, I was wondering if can I use celerity to use a fast action and move an attack?
No, because celerity is an action to cast any spell.
Okay.
You can use celerity as a triggered action though, Brent. Remember, you get one triggered action per turn. So you could, in theory, use the triggered action to move half your move. But with your, assuming that you've got your key focus, half your move is almost as fast as to be honest, it's as fast as Adric. So you can easily move like the one zone in to engage with those. So if you want to spend the like 1 mana, you could cast celerity as your triggered action and then attack as normal.
Okay, so I will do that then.
Yeah. Okay, Steve-O, what's Oh, Steve's asleep. Steve, wake up! Fucking asleep. Oh, he's all tuckered out. Okay, so I'm just gonna move until we hear from Steve. I'm gonna assume Nute is
Totally asleep.
yeah, he's totally asleep right now. We'll take this as a cautionary tale. Why you don't try and play in bed? There, he's awake.
Hello.
This is why we don't play lying down in bed.
Fair enough.
Okay, so Nute,
This
I need
time
you
it's
to
not me that's asleep.
I was at the physiotherapist today. All right.
Okay, you need to pick a slower, fast turn there, Steve-O.
All right,
And-
let's go.
Okay, so who wants to go? Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3 with fast turns. Brett, why don't you go first? Then Adric will go.
All right. Okay. Give me a second. I'm just gonna move down. There I am.
Nice. Okay, so give us a cool description of how this celerity spell manifests, Brent. Or celerity kata, I guess.
What is that next to me? Those like beds?
Yeah, this is like a barracks. This is a makeshift barracks.
Oh, okay. I'm going to do more of an acrobatic maneuver. So I come charging in, spear in hand, jump on the bed, and leap down next to the goblin, spearing and then bring my spear into the one in front of me.
Okay. Now these guys there's a special trait that hobgoblins have. When they are adjacent to another hobgoblin, they have that phalanx tactics thing. Yeah, so they impose 1 bane on attacks. So you go racing in, and let's see here. So you're going to get 1 bane because of the phalanx tactics, but I don't think there's any other modifiers.
Well, I did get to jump on a bed, so
that's cool. That's very cool. So go ahead and give me an attack roll, Brent.
All right.
With 1 bane, please.
Okay.
And then Adric will go next there, Jeff. Or who's controlling Adric? James?
With me.
Okay, the James, why don't you go ahead and figure out what Adric wants to do next.
He runs out screaming and is just going to wail at the nearest guy with his new weapon.
Okay. He does have that acid glob spell he can use. He can't use his brew potion spell, but he can use the other. Brent, are you making an attack roll? Oh, there you go. Okay, nice. Okay, so you go racing in, you leap off the bed, and you bring that spear down, but unfortunately that is not quite good enough. They're able to, lock their shields together, and you pang your spear bounces off. You're shocked by how disciplined these troops are. Adric, go ahead and make an attack. Adric also gets -1 because there's a phalanx tactics at play here.
He's not going to because of the acid blob. He's not going to run right up to him.
Okay.
I didn't realize he had that ability.
Runs up. He speaks some words in Dwarvish. This viscous green glob forms in his hand. Just click on the spell, James, and let's see how he does. He gets still phalanx tactics imposes 1 bane.
Oh.
Now I want to point out here.
-1?
Sorry.
I type in -1.
Hit -1. I will point out here that this is versus a Jody. That's awesome. Oh, still fairly. They're so close. So they're able to get the shield up, and this glob bursts across it. It's sizzling on the wooden shield, but it doesn't actually connect with any of their flesh. I will point out that as long as they're adjacent to each other, they get that benefit. This is where one of those tactics, like, say, the driving attack, where you push the target back a number of yards equal to your strength modifier, that could be pretty handy. Okay, so now we're into the slow turns, guys. For those of you who have taken a turn, remember to take your color token off, please. At the end of when you finish your turn, please take that off so we know you've acted. Okay, so who wants to go next then? We've got 4 people with slow turns.
Rakus will go. He's pretty eager.
Okay.
Which one seems like the most vulnerable in there?
There, it's you know what to be a little racist, it's hard to tell the difference between them.
Harsh. He will pick one.
Brent, are you having a hard time turning off the color?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time selecting my icon right now.
Okay, sure. So sorry, go ahead, Dave.
There could be a bit of delay. There we go.
He will pick one at random. Let's say this one here. Am I pinging that? No, I'm not pinging anything.
Wait, the one closest to you?
No, the one farthest, like
what?
Right in front of him right now.
Oh yeah, okay. The guy who looks different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before he charges, he'll point to him and yell out, "You're mine!"
Nice. You go charging in. He's sort of like he must be the sergeant of these guys. So he sort of, but he says something in Goblin that actually that Ember you would understand still because of your truth gear.
Yep.
He says, "Hold fast, cut these things down."
They're bearing down.
A short rest yet, Kev? Does that mean my vicious horns is not replenished?
There's actually no such thing as a short rest in Shadow of the Demon Lord. It is there's a rest.
Okay.
And vicious horns, I don't think you can use it as often as you want. Hold on.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, yeah. There's limited things that only like your what do you call it? Your second wind thing, the catch your breath. That one it requires a rest to recharge, but otherwise you're fine.
Gotcha. Now, can I take a boon for my barbarian profession?
No. The professions only work on skill challenges, not on attacks.
Okay, so no boons then?
No boons. One bane though because of their phalanx tactics. Indeed.
So -1?
So -1, that's right.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, actually, sorry, it would have been 2 banes because a charge imposes a bane as well. Give me, let's see, what did you roll for your bane? You rolled a 5 for your bane, so even if you rolled a 6, it still would have hit. Okay, so you come clattering in, you gore into this hobgoblin, which drives him back. You smash that shield aside, and you can feel your horns clip into his into the armor and tear bits of his side out. He grits and yells something in Goblin, which is untranslatable by the spell, so it's probably just some kind of curse. But he's not dead, so you get your normal action now.
Okay.
Your attack, go ahead.
I'm going to go next.
Okay. So, Rakus, it's with 1 bane is your battle axe.
All right, then.
Okay. Oof, that's wild again, too. So you bring the axe down, and he has his shield up. That those horns sure taught him what to avoid. Bam! Your axe hammers against him. Ember, what are you doing?
Ember strides forward, casts unerring missile on the 4 white guys, and then the remaining 3 on the colored guy.
Okay, so go ahead and click.
She just looks at them and says, "Die."
Okay, so these sizzle out now. The thing is, let's see here. Okay, there are no minions in Shadow of the Demon Lord. It does hit each of them, but it is minimal impact on each of them. It's sort of they're fairly heavily armored. They're cowering behind their shields. So while it does injure them a bit, it's more of a minor nuisance. The other guy is hit with 4 though, and he's pretty badly hurt now. When he raised his shield to block the battle axe, you saw the opening, and these missiles go flying in and exploded in brilliant blue light in his armor. Staggers back. Who would like to go next? We got Nute, we got Oberon, and potentially Kitty.
All right. Well, Nute will move up. And let's see here. He will attack the nearest guy on the corner there.
Okay, go ahead and move yourself in.
Kablam, there we go.
So you're racing in. Okay, so Steve, it'll be an attack with 1 Bane, please, because of Phalanx tactics.
All right.
They've all sort of, turtle shelled in.
And if I use my trickery, then that'll be even?
Your trickery is already calculated in your roll. When you make your attack roll, it's assumed I've already calculated that.
Okay. Ooh, look at that.
Holy shit. Okay, so that's 12 points of damage. And then, Steve, because you rolled more than 20, your exploit opportunity triggers, and you get to take another action. Actually, you kill this guy.
Nice.
So he's distracted very briefly by the arcane missile, and you see that opening. You dart in through your allies. Your short swords dashes in with like almost machine-like precision. This guy, it collapses down faster than you thought possible. Boom! He's a heap. You still have another action. What would you like to do?
Does drawing another short sword, is that a free action?
You only have one. You only have one small sword.
Dagger. Sorry.
I'm assuming you got your dagger out because you wouldn't have any need to have a free one. So what you could do, Steve, is you could throw that dagger at one of the hobgoblins, or you could use a lunging attack. Take a bane and then reach out to hit the guy.
Let us. Okay, we'll do a lunging attack.
Okay, give me 1 second here, Steve. I just want to take a look at your character sheet and make sure I've got the correct. Where is he? Nute. Thing here. Okay. Dagger. So you're gonna roll the dagger offhand.
All right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So lunging attack though. So it's
one second here. You know what? Oh yeah, that's the right one. That's the right one.
Yeah.
So lunging. So 1 bane, 2 banes, because 1 from Phalanx tactics, 1 from the what do you call it? Lunging attack.
No, like okay.
But fortunately your agility is really badass.
That is true. 17. Check it out.
Oh, so that's good enough. Nice. So in spite of it, you hit the one guy and drop him, and then you sort of spin and then lean out like a dancer, and your dagger slashes at the arm holding a shield on the other one. He staggers.
Nice.
Staggers back and winces in pain. All right. So then last but
around.
not least, is Oberon and Kitty. What are you guys doing?
All right, Oberon rushes in. I'm going the right way. Didn't see anything. And Kitty, actually, this turn he just follows him in.
Okay.
But Oberon is going to, as he's rushing in, he pulls the cigar out of his mouth.
Yeah.
He sort of tucks it into his knuckle, and he's going to gore that guy there right in front of him.
Okay, so by that do you mean, because there's 2 mechanical ways of interpreting that. You can use your horns as a weapon and do 1d6 damage.
Yeah, it's vicious horns.
So okay, with vicious horns, then what you need to do is charge, which means you'll take, you'll still be able to attack with your melee weapon as well. You'll just take a bane on that attack.
Oh, okay. So the first one's at a bane, but then he gets an attack.
That's right. So, and also remember, Jeff, you've got your Ardent Surge you can use as a triggered action each turn.
Right, I'll use that on my weapon attack though.
Okay, cool. So then go ahead and click on your Vicious Horns, and that should be calculated normally, and should result.
It should have a bane.
Yeah, 1 bane from the Phalanx tactics.
Minus 1. Oh, it's still 13.
Okay, so your horns smash into this thing's shield, and they all sort of like, you knock the whole group of 4 of them back a little bit, but it doesn't actually get through and injure them. Okay. Go ahead and make your other attack.
So now it would be a flat attack if I use my Ardent Surge, correct?
That's right. It'll be a flat, hold on. Well, no, because you get 1 bane from Cumbersome, and then 1 bane from you'll be rolling with 1 bane effectively.
Oh,
so just click on it normal, because your weapon is so fucking big, it imposes 1 bane.
Right, and then the Ardent Surge gives me 1 boon.
Right, but then you also have the bane from their Phalanx tactics.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and actually, there's another bane from the charge as well.
Okay, so,
So I guess
it didn't hit anyway. So.
9. Okay. However, remember, you got your fortune. You could just spend it and do an auto hit.
Oh, it's an auto hit.
Yeah, like remember, fortune points are super awesome. If you spend a fortune point, you change a failure into a success.
Absolutely, let's do that.
Okay.
How many fortune points can you spend at a time?
You can spend as much as you want. Just that if you blow through it, remember that's also the thing you use to prevent dying.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So Oberon, that is then 8 damage. Nice. And then awesome. Okay, so what happens? I think Oberon is you go racing in. You hammer this. The lot of them. The one of them loses his footing. That cut that Nute did on his arm before causes him to drop his strike, and he's able to look up just in time as your massive great axe buries him into the ground.
Nice.
Nice. Okay. So now it is Hobby Gobby's turn. All right. So we got one. So one Hobby Gobby is let's hear is facing Rackus. That sergeant is he lurches forward, tries to batter your shield back as well, and then tries to stab in an opening. Oof! I got a 24.
Wow.
So I think that hit. So Rackus, you take 4 points of damage as the spear catches you in the side. So just click on your token and then just add 4 and hit enter. That'll track your damage onto your character sheet.
Okay.
The one next to you steps over his ally, and you understand this Ember because you're still, under hearing it,
Right.
and he screams out, "Die, mutant!" And attacks. Ooh, nat 1. There's no way that hits. So he slips on some of the gore, and his spear goes wild. And then against you, Halen, the one that your spear bounced off of, he likewise sort of locks shields again, and then tries to spear out at you. Brent, does a 13 hit you? What's your defense?
Wait a second, I'm just going.
It'll be in the bottom left corner of your stat sheet.
The main sheet, right?
Yeah, the main thing. I think
17 plus 1 for my key would be 18.
yeah, so you're easily able to dance out of the way of that. Okay, guys. So that's the end of the turn. Remember, guys, at the end of your turn, please take your marker off so you know that you've done your turn. And now, start the next turn, guys. Mark whether you're taking fast or slow turns.
Excellent.
And then once I see everyone's color token, we will go. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to grab some more coffee. I'll be right back.
So,
Hello. Okay, great. So who wants to go first in the fast turn? Because heroes go before enemies.
I'll go.
Okay. What are you doing?
I am Fiery Volley. Actually, it's 3 of them. There's only 3 left.
Yep. You can target 1 each, or you can do all focus it on 1, or however you want to split them up.
I'll do 1 each.
1 each. Nice. Okay. So why don't you click on the sergeant first?
No Bane or Boons.
1 Bane because of the Phalanx tactics. Actually, you know what? I don't think the sergeant's going to get it anymore. So
Okay, we'll do the
no
sergeant
Banes
first.
on your first one.
Oops. There.
Holy shit. Okay, so it's 5 and an extra D3, but I think actually that's enough to kill him. Yeah. So you wave your arm, and there's these 3 bolts that sort of like fly out like water spraying from a your hand. Rackus, you're locked, shoulder to shoulder or shield to shield with this thing. You push it back, getting ready to hit him again, and then suddenly he explodes into flame, screaming as he falls to the ground. Go ahead and roll against the second guy. 1 Bane on that one.
Are you talking to me, Kev?
No, it's just for James.
Okay.
Got 2 more attacks. Okay, so that one hits the shield, and then 1 more with a Bane. Holy shit, 21. Okay, so
Nice.
that'll be an extra D3 damage. But let me make an agility. Oh, no, I don't get to make a challenge. So give me a D3 roll. Make sure you mark
How
the
do I do a
mana.
D3?
Just hit down /roll 1d3. So 7, because I don't think it'll actually, even if you do max damage, it's not going to kill him. 2, nice. Okay, so it does stagger him. So it sort of bursts more into his face. He kind of like, pulls himself back. That guy in front of you is looking pretty banged up there, Brent. Okay, so Ember's turn's done. Who's going next? Oberon, Rackus, Adric,
Sure.
or
Rackus will go.
okay.
Okay.
Steve, I just want to mention one thing. Remember that we are using abstracted range here.
Right.
So you can use a triggered action to take a step. So like to engage with someone in the same area.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you just so you know, so you don't have to, if you're wanting to move, and then like only if you're moving between zones.
Right.
You guys are all in close enough.
Between
So,
zones.
yeah. So I'm sorry. Who wants to go next, guys?
Rackus will go.
Rackus, you've been injured now.
Well, actually, because Rackus is currently, is fighting basically side by side with Oberon.
Yep.
He is going to target the hobgoblin in front of him with an unbalancing attack, in the hopes that he can knock it prone in front of Oberon.
Oh, that would be badass. Okay. So basically, you're taking a Bane on your roll. Like you do damage as normal and whatever else. It's just that if you succeed, you also knock him prone.
Okay.
Badass. Here's something, guys. This is I didn't make Minotaurs like large sized, but one of the amazing fucking things is if you're playing a big creature, like when I played Shadow the Demon Lord, I played a Jotun, which is like a half giant. So I always got a boon on every time I tried to unbalancing attack or like push or charge because everything was so much smaller than me.
So Bane on that?
You get 2 Banes, one from Phalanx Tactics and one from the unbalancing attack.
Boo. Any wounds?
Other than the ones that are already calculated in, no.
Okay.
Unless, Oberon does have an ability to grant. Whoa! Woo! 0.
You know
Nice.
what? I will take a fortune point.
Okay.
No kidding.
Do you guys, you know where your fortune points are, right?
Yeah.
On the main at the
Yep.
bottom right. Okay, so go ahead and spend that. So it's a success. So that means 11 damage. Holy shit! I think we have actually killed this guy. Oh, not quite. He is battered to the ground. And
So
like
Rackus will point to Oberon and yell at him, "Finish him!"
awesome. So Oberon, you're going to get a boon for just because he's prone. He doesn't get the benefit of Phalanx Tactics anymore because he's prone. So Oberon, do you want to go next?
Sure.
Okay, so you're attacking right now at default with 1 boon. You also have Ardent Surge, or you can use one of your psychic spells.
Yeah, I'm going to use Ardent Surge and cast my augmented attack spell.
Nice. So just mark your mana, and then you're going to have 3 boons on this attack.
And wait, that use either mana or psychic mana?
Well, you could use your psychic points as well. Yeah, that would just cost 1 psychic point.
Okay, I see.
So you could do that too.
So let's use the mana.
The spell's just
Okay.
1 mana.
I think that, yeah, it's better to keep your psionic stuff only because you can use your psychic points to impose banes on any kind of spell that targets your mental stats.
What?
Oh, that's garbage. That's such fucking bullshit.
What?
Now, remember, you can spend a fortune to re-roll
Yes.
as well.
Let's do that.
Okay, so count as the same. You get 3 boons again.
Yeah, let's try that again. That almost didn't even seem right.
That's just fucking terrible.
What?
What the
Is
hell?
that rolling right?
Let's see here. You rolled 3 with 1, or a 2 and a boon, and you rolled a 2 with a. Yeah, it's rolling different results. They're just shitty results. Fuck.
Blarg, that's terrible.
You can spend a fortune again if you want.
Wow. That was amazing.
Can't you
That was amazingly bad.
can't you just stomp on him, Jeff? Like, I mean, really?
Did you again?
He refocuses his spiritual energy, and he rolls this one last time because that's just insane.
It's another fortune.
Am I supposed to do +3 or just 3?
No, just 3.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh, there you go. Yeah. Okay. So that guy is fucking spluttered now. And why don't you describe for us how he dies? Give us a really cool description.
Oberon just takes his battle axe and he puts both his hands on it and just comes down right across the chest of this. What are they, goblins or hobgoblins? Right across the chest, and he's wearing some sort of heavy armor, but the battle axe just sinks right through the metal as if it wasn't there.
Awesome. And blood spurts out of his mouth. He's still gritting his teeth and glaring at you as he goes, as the sort of light fades from his black eyes. Okay, next one, Oberon. You can get a fortune point back from that description. Who'd like to go next?
I would. I think there's one dude in front of me.
Okay, no longer any phalanx tactic because there's no phalanx. So no boons or banes. They're situational.
All right. Well, I would like to brush his sword aside with my spear and punch him in the throat.
Ooh, nice. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
All right. Come on.
And then it'll be either Adric. Sorry, Steve. Were you still intent on taking a slow turn, or you want to take a fast turn?
Well, I'm set up for a slow turn. I mean, I was gonna move.
Ugh.
Ooh, that's not good. And that one.
But can I retroactively use a fate point to?
Fortune point? Yeah. You can spend a fortune point. Just mark down that you've used one, and that will so you can do one of two things, Brent. You can transform failure into success, or you can re-roll.
Well. Oh yeah, and if I re-roll, you know what? I'll just transform into success.
Awesome. Okay. So you knock his. You sort of lock spears with him, and then you knock it aside, step forward, and boom! There's a vicious chop to his neck, and he sort of stops because you collapsed his trachea, and he drops his spear, and tries to grip at his throat, and then falls to the ground, sputtering out his last breath. Okay, guys. So you look around, and there is a ton of. This is apparently where the hobby gobbies camp out for the night, and you can see that there is also stuffed in here appears to be some of the booty from the raid on Brindol. What are you guys going to do?
Raid the booty.
Raid the booty? Oh, you know what? You guys forgot to search the body of the shaman.
No.
Mm-hmm. Someone want to give me a fortune point to retroactively do that?
I'll do it.
You can have mine.
You can have his.
Because I want to step.
Okay, so then that means, Steve, that you're the one who did that. So, Steve, you searched on his body, and what you found were a really ominous set of hand-carved dice. And as you sort of picked them up, you heard sort of like a and every time you rattle them around in your hand, you can hear these whispers.
Okay.
And basically what they are, Steve, is you can use a action or a triggered action to cast the dice at someone, and they will be forced to make a will challenge, or they will be frightened, which means depending on their status, they may suffer banes to their actions for a number of turns, or they may actually even run away. So you can call them bone dice.
Funky. Write that down.
Okay, so
So
certainly
I kept-
here.
Super quick question.
Yep.
What file formats does Roll20 like for images?
You can use JPEGs, you can use PNG.
Okay.
Okay. Now so looking around in here, guys, you find a bunch of stuff that seems to be looted from homes. In particular, James, are you using your magical ability again?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go ahead and spend the mana for that. There are actually 2 magical items that are stuffed amongst the booty that were recovered from the town. One of them is a mirror about maybe like 2 feet high and about a foot and a half wide. And you're studying this thing, and actually, let's see here. Why don't you give me? You spent the mana on it, so that's a good enough resource. What this mirror is, James, is that if someone speaks a lie, it will sound a soft chime. So you look at it, and you say, "My father was an angel." Boom.
Hey, Kev.
That is a mirror of truth. The second thing you find, so just one sec, Brian. I just want to say the 2 things that were found. The second thing that was found is it appears to be a money purse that someone has stolen from someone, or stolen from some poor victim. You can tell there's a little bit of blood on it as well. It's otherwise made of like a very fine, soft, like velvet type fabric. But this is enchanted very subtly. And basically what it is it grants you a boon when you are involved in social conflicts. It either infuriates those who with envy, for those that you want to goad into harsh action or rash action, or it provides a sense of status if you're trying to impress someone or negotiate with someone. So this is a purse of plenty. So you identified those 2 things. Are you letting everyone know, or are you just kind of keeping these things for yourself?
I will let them know about the mirror, and I will pocket the purse.
Okay. So you got the purse.
Guys, this mirror, you can use it, and it'll determine, when someone's lying.
Okay. So the mirror will, so you guys got that now. Now what you see, guys, is there are 2 doors, one up here and one over here.
One thing I wanted to, can I do something before we take off?
Of course, yeah. What do you want to do?
So, having experienced a lot of loss lately, if there's anything that could be like attributed to a specific individual, Aelin will take it to give back to the family.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here that could be like that. So you can, but fortunately, you know, these guys give you the benefit of carrying off this stuff in a specific kind of way. So it will be relatively easy when you're able to lug stuff along to do the same, sort of set up this shit to be able to lug it back.
Okay.
That is very heroic, though, Brent. I'll give you a fortune for that.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys. Now, what would you like to do next? Now, I'm going to point out, guys, that old school players, they may do they have learned from the harsh taskmasters like Gygax, Arneson, Cook, and their contemporaries to listen at doors before they open them. So if you guys were so inclined, you could maybe apply some of your senses to try and determine what lies beyond the doors before throwing them open and going through.
That's a whole different style of play.
That may be something the elves are interested in, but I do believe the Minotaurs continue to throw doors open.
Okay.
Well, if I can stay ahead far enough of the Minotaurs where that's viable.
Well, let's see what's happening. Where are the Minotaurs going at this point? Oberon has pulled his cigar out of his knuckle and put it back in his mouth, I'm guessing.
Yeah, after the fight, he's got his cigar back out.
Okay.
I've gone by the brazier.
I think that Oberon will use his psychic powers again to sort of reach out and see if he can sense any fear.
Sure. Give me 1 second. I'm going to see how many rooms. What I'm doing, Jeff,
He's checking how far away people are.
Well, yeah, what I'm doing is I'm counting the number of rooms away, and that's how many Banes I'm giving him. I think that's a good sort of bellwether.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
So let's see, 1. So I think you're getting 3 Banes this time, please. So it'll be with your boon from your psychic powers. It'll be 2 Banes net. Nice again. Okay, so you know what? It's that same person. It's sort of off in this direction.
Like, oh, there. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a door up that way?
Ember, you're over at that door?
Yeah, I didn't see a door at the top.
Yeah, there's a door on each side. There's one at the top of the room there and one on the side. Ember, why don't you give me a perception check as you get near that door? These doors are all very much the same, by the way, guys. They're all the same, very hot, like heavy bound doors. Adric has offered to help lug this shit as well too.
What's perception?
Once Halen, you mentioned that we can try and find something for the townsfolk. Adric says, "Your heart's in the right place, boy."
Any banes or boons from our perception?
Do you think you have any professions that would apply?
Let's see. No.
No? Okay, so just go ahead and give me, it's just a challenge. You just need a 10 or higher. Okay. So you feel
that injured?
There, you got 15.
Rex alive?
Yeah. Remember, the red is how much damage you've taken. It counts up.
Oh, it goes the other way. Oh.
Yeah.
I was looking at that, I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
It goes this way. It's a little bit red. He's just got a little bit of blood on him.
Yeah. So you're at the door there, Amber, and you think you hear. It's strange. There's a bit of like a.
A what?
Sound of blowing, like almost like a wind howling down the hallway on the far side.
I'll back up and I'll tell the Minotaurs to open it.
Okay. Hey, meat shields, you go first. Put yourselves. Actually, guys, what I'll do is I'll get you to please put yourselves in like a column as if you're going to go through, so I can cut and paste the tokens.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Actually, Kitty actually will be behind the elves.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, thank you guys. Let me cut and paste.
Oh, that's a perfect line for a lightning bolt to hit us all.
Well, I'm gonna go through a door.
Or a cone of cold. Yeah.
The best thing is when your players feed you how to kill them. I mean, really, you guys are too good to this DM.
Cluster them all together.
Open, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of cluster you guys all near the door. This may be my favorite room that you guys are gonna go into in amongst this entire dungeon.
You know what that means?
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! There are interesting fights that will happen. There are interesting enemies and adversaries that you will face. But this has something that no other room has. As you open the door, as expected, what happens is it goes in about 10 feet, and then it turns to the side. But there's this blasting wind that hits you, and it's hot. It's like 10 degrees hotter than the ambient temperature in here. Like, it's a warm but very dusty wind that hits you. And as you guys walk in, what is the plan here, guys? Are you trying to stealth in here, or are you trying to just walk in like, come on, fucking bring it on, whoever's there?
Well, the Minotaurs went ahead, so I guess it would be sort of up to them.
Yeah, so that's exactly what's happening.
We're just like tired of this sneaking. It's like,
yeah. So you step in, and what you see, guys, is this.
A 4.
So as you turn to the right, sorry guys, I got lazy and stopped taking the numbers.
That's okay.
Things. What you see there's this shimmering. You're not sure what you're looking at. You're not sure what it is. It'll almost look as if there's a tear in space. Ooh. And you can feel the hot wind blowing through that. Because what you see beyond, and I need you guys, once I reveal this to you guys, please click on the little looking glass thing to make it full size, because this is what you see.
What's inside of there?
There is this enormous volcano that explodes out.
That's inside a room?
That is through a gap in space that seems to lead through like a doorway. You guys are familiar with the Ripped in Time. Every single one of you, as you see this, there's that same nodding, twisting butterflies in your stomach feeling that you feel when someone vanishes or reappears. Ooh. You don't need to make any checks for this, James. You know that this is a rent in planar space.
Does it have any effect on our sanity?
Here, you know what? I'm not sure this is how upsetting this will be, but what I will let you. So, guys, make a will challenge with 1 boon.
Because I was going to say, like, I mean, if it's connected to what's been happening to us, it might have some effect.
Yeah, no, I like that. So, Jeff, you can have a fortune for that, because that's a cool idea, and it's potentially detrimental to you guys. So, everyone, please give me a will challenge with 1 boon. Oberon, you're good. You grit your teeth. Oh, Rackus. Rackus, you take 1 insanity.
Yeah.
A step closer to frenzy. Halen, you're fine.
Ew.
More than fine.
Actually, Kev.
Amber, you're good as well.
Nute, not fine.
Oh, Nute, not good. 1, because you've been gone for so long. That flutter of feeling as if you're disappearing again, I think, is really upsetting to you. So you do take 1 insanity, please.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you see this, and then just as suddenly as it is sitting there, there's a, and it's gone. And you're looking at a stone wall on the far side.
Like hell.
Interesting.
You can hear. Again, you don't need to make perception checks for this, but you hear voices.
Creepy.
What do you guys do? I'm assuming you're standing roughly where you are right now.
I'm looking around.
Did Oberon feel what happened to his brother?
Give me a perception challenge. Just no boons, no banes. I'll give you a boon because it's your brother. Yeah, you can feel that he's another step of instability.
Oberon puts his hand on his shoulder and he says, "Steady, brother."
Nice.
Rakus will look at him, we'll look at him straight in the eyes and say to him, "Do you smell the blood?"
Yes, brother. Let's make them bleed. And the Minotaurs charge into the room.
Okay, so you go racing into the room. Go ahead and place yourselves in there, guys.
Well, it's nice being free from the grid.
Yeah. Okay, so you get in there.
Kitty go.
You slowly move your way forward. Kitty, Adric, Nute, and Halen, are you guys moving in as well?
That was a very Tron saying.
So what you guys see in here is that there are, like I said, there's a flat wall against the far side, but there are all sorts of bizarre carvings and friezes of all sorts of unusual beasts, and yeah, it seems as if like they're very old and weathered, and you wonder whether there is a, if you cleaned it up more, that maybe you could make some sort of sense of this, as if there was some kind of like Bayou Tapestry type story being told on here. But there also is some kind of like architectural occult working that's going on here. Anybody who has training in scholar occult, why don't you give me an intellect check with a boon, please?
How about a cultist background?
Well, no, that's a fill-in for psychic, you said.
Yeah, that cultist is sort of more like anything you would have learned through your psychic training and stuff like that. It does need to be something occult, because this is something beyond. Brent, what I'll do is you can use that, but I'm going to take away the boon. Basically, I would have imposed a bane because it would have been harder. So just give me an intellect check, Brent. Let's see if you've picked something up from your training. Steve, are you hanging back like that, or are you joining everybody else?
I will join.
Okay. Okay, so Halen, in your actually, yeah, Oberon, you did well as well. So yeah, you remember that arch that you guys found when things first started going wrong? That weird conical structure or whatever?
Yeah.
This is very similar. It is not the same architectural design. It's not the same culture that produced this thing, but the function is very similar. And Oberon, you rolled well enough. Like, you think that this is basically, that this region, the Elsevier Vale, is rife with planar gaps and chasms through to the other darker realms. But this is almost as if it's an effort to stabilize one of those instabilities.
Oh, like as if they built a portal.
Yeah. And you hear, again, much closer now, like whispering as if like behind your ears, interlopers.
Do we have any feel at all for how we could open that rift based on the experiences we've had fading in and out?
Why do you want to open that rift?
I don't think so.
Through there, maybe where they've taken these people.
So, guys, wait. You ready for my favorite thing?
Roll initiative.
Nope.
Giant spiders.
1, 2, 3.
Phantom Warriors.
These things suddenly appear. Now, first thing I need you guys to do is everybody needs to make, 1 second here, I can't remember if these things are horrifying or just scary. What basically happens is that whispering that you guys were hearing, it's still like there's rustling and whatnot around, and then suddenly these things, manifest in front of you. I need will challenges from each of you, but let me just check and see what the... No, just a will challenge, please.
I'll use my trickery if I can.
You can, yeah, absolutely. So you get a boon on it. Brent, you can use your trickery for it as well, so you get a boon on yours.
Yay.
Ooh.
Oh, Nute.
Not so good.
Kev?
Yep.
Okay, never mind.
Anybody
Look
who
at you.
fails, so anyone who rolls 9 or less, you take 1 insanity and you are frightened, which means you're going to be suffering a bane on all rolls for 1 round.
Mm.
Let's see, Nute. Oh, Oberon, right on the edge.
Perfect.
Okay. Now, unfortunately, guys, because you did not prepare yourself or whatever else, these things get a surprise round on you. And as these things appear, they raise up their ethereal and spectral swords and bring them down on you. And they do get a boon on the attacks. And I think I'll just go with the closest people here. So that's Nute, Oberon, and I think Halen, actually. Okay, so against Oberon, let's see here. That is actually a shit roll. 12, I think it doesn't hit your defense.
Defense. No.
No. Oh, fuck. Halen, I got a nat 20.
Well, that would beat my 18.
That'll
Are
beat
these
your
things,
Okay, so this
are these things sort of spiritual in nature?
they are. It doesn't attack your one of your mental stats.
Okay.
At least this attack does not. So this thing, it brings this sword through, Brennan. Like you do get a moment where you try and raise your spear up, but it passes right through your spear as if it's nothing. It cuts through your body, and you take 9 points of damage as this cuts through you, and you can feel as if a blade of winter passes through you. And then against you, Nute, let's see. That's a shit roll again too. I take it that a 10 does not hit you.
No.
Okay. So, guys, that was the end of their first turn. These things appeared. Nute, I think you were just so surprised, but fortunately, your initial terror sort of worked in your favor, and you jerked back. Go ahead, Brent.
Can I use fortune on someone else's roll?
You can, but you have to tell me before I roll. You can't do it afterwards. You can impose 2 banes on my roll.
Okay.
What you can do also, Brent, you can spend a fortune to have the damage if you want. You could take 5 points of damage instead.
All right. Let me just check my hit points here.
Right back, just have to pee.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. I will do that.
Okay. So, yeah. Okay, so you only take 5 points of damage, then, Brent. So this thing cuts through you. All right, guys. Now, please mark whether you're taking fast or slow turns. And then we'll go to the fast turn. Amber, while we're waiting for everyone to make their rolls, would you kind of give me an intellect challenge with a boon from your scholar history? Okay. Yeah, you're looking around, and these they are like bluish apparitions, and they seem to be insubstantial. But the markings and the style of armor that these things are wearing, you think it dates from the Restolor Imperial period, or the Kingdom of Restolor period. These things are have sigils on them that would have dated from more than 200 years ago. which of course is the time when the Vilicus family betrayed the Kingdom of Rest. Okay, it looks like everyone except for Oberon has marked. Jeff, you back yet?
Oh, sorry, I was peeing.
Oh, sure, yeah. So you and then I can't see. What does Adric have? Is he?
He's got also green.
Green. Okay, cool. Who wants to go first then, guys? Looks like everyone's taking fast turns.
Adric panics and throws a glob of green stuff at this one.
Okay, so that'll be his last green glob for.
That's right. He's got limited.
Yeah, until the rest.
Okay.
So go ahead and make that attack. He yells out, "Oh, banshees!" and hawks the glove. Oh, just good enough though. He does actually hit, and
does max damage.
Spectral nature, like, while you would expect this shit to pass right through this thing, it splatters across its surface as if it was solid. And this thing, it howls in this really horrible, like the sound of like hurricane gales, through a chasm. There's this howl, and it pulls back. It was very badly hurt by that.
Ooh. I'm going to follow it up with a magic missile.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. So you spin around and nice. Okay, so 2 points of damage. So it does hit it, but again, that seems to hit it as if this thing is fully corporeal. Didn't hurt it as badly as what that globe did. This thing is pretty badly hurt. Take off your 1 mana for that, and then who wants to go next?
So which is the one that's hurt them?
The one that is at the bottom, your new tape.
Okay. I can go next. Seeing that my spear had no effect on its attack, I will, with my free hand, open palm strike it with a resounding attack.
Okay. Go ahead.
And if I miss, I can auto hit with by spending fortune.
You can, yeah.
Okay, so I will try resounding attack.
Okay.
And I get my what's it called?
Trickery. Trickery is always for you and Steve. Trickery is already calculated in with your weapons.
What about the spells?
Yeah, if you click on the spell, it includes both trickery and your benefit from the spell.
Okay.
And there's no situational stuff here. So.
Okay, I just clicked on it. Nothing popped up, so I will click on it again.
No. Go to your thing, Brent. Did it prompt you? Remember, you got to go to the sheet to find the interface.
I clicked on resounding attack, entered no boons, and then I.
You have had problems before with lag, though, so it could be that it just takes a minute for it to.
Yeah, just wait a second before you click it again, or you might get 3 rolls.
Yeah, because we've seen that with your computer before. Who wants to go next then?
Rakus will go.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay, so Brent, you leap out, or you resounding attack. Is that the one that's against one thing? Oh, Days for one. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so you spin around, and your open palm charges with psychic power, and you lash out at this thing. But it's like striking at mist caught in a breeze, and it's not where you connect.
Would fortune favor me as I strike and find a solid point near its chest?
Sounds good. Okay. Well, you're not going to find a solid point on this. You hit, but unfortunately, again, it's like this thing is only partly there. It's like striking against like wet clothing. You do feel the connect, but it gives so much that you feel like a chunk of your effort has been lost on it.
Sort of like, and then I affect it with maybe the psychic portion of the blow, which is what dazes it.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so let me just double check what Daze does, because this thing is immune to a bunch of things because of its undead nature. No, but this one is not though. So even though you barely hit it, it's enough for you to, your will to pulse through that tenuous contact. And this thing is, sort of jerks back, and it will not take actions until the next round. So that's great stuff. Dazed. Oh, you know what I'll do is I'll mark it with a yellow. Okay. I'm not sure you guys can see the yellow actually, but can you see the yellow?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, so who wants to go next?
Mutai will use his magic sword.
Yeah. He doesn't have a magic
Hopefully
sword,
the
unfortunately, but I can try though. Okay, so you will have one bane because of your fear for this round.
Okay. Well, he will certainly use his trickery.
Okay, so go ahead and click on your attack. Again, that's already included. There's no other banes or wounds. Oh, so there is one bane. You have one bane because of the frightened. Let's see how you do.
Gotcha. All right. -1. Rock and roll. 13 versus. Yeah.
Again, like this thing is after getting struck with those spells, it is even more canny. It sees you and it dashes back in like hovering in the air, and your sword finds nothing to connect with. Who wants to go next?
Rackus will go.
Okay.
So he'll attack this one right here.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, is he able to take an action or take a move before his action?
Move before his action. Not if he's taking a fast turn.
You
can. How far did you want to go?
Well, actually, to be no. I think thinking about it, what I actually really wanted more was 2 turns, and that's just greedy. So never mind. Okay, yeah, we'll just go with a standard attack then.
Okay, go ahead. Well, no, remember, like the game is nice. Like it's nice and loose, so you can give a cool narrative to it, and you may get a bonus from that. From that attack. Like, or you
what he wanted to do was, when he sees that Halen's been injured, and it probably looks a lot worse on Halen than it does on Rackus. He tries to draw the Phantom's attention by taunting him.
Awesome. Okay, Dave, I am super glad that you said that. So there is an ability you can do when you attack. As a triggered action, you can use an action called Goad. And what Goad does is it means that thing has a bane or a boon to attack you, but it has a bane to attack anybody else. I used to use that all the time with my my Jotun character.
Let's go with that then.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So your trigger is to do that, and go ahead and make an attack.
No, so I suffer a bane for that.
No, with Goad, no, you don't, because that's a specific it's a triggered action. It's separate from your attack.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, guys, as a reminder, Jeff has mentioned too, when you've taken your turn, make sure you turn your green off.
It really helps me to see what's happened so far this turn.
You know what, Kev? I'm going to take an action point on that.
You spend a fortune. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And actually, I'll just make that happen.
Okay, so you hit, and yeah. Okay, so again, it's this thing seems only partially here. So you are able to tear parts of this thing out. Parts of its ethereal plate crack and shatter, and parts of its the cassock it has underneath is ripped and torn out. But you feel like on a corporeal enemy or adversary, that would have been a much more devastating blow. However, you have taunted this thing enough that it is going to be focusing on you once it can act. Last but not least, we've got Oberon and then Adric. Oberon, what do you want to do?
So have I noticed that my allies' attacks or the attack that happened to me seemed incorporeal?
Yes, I think you picked that up.
Okay. Is there anything that I have magically or psychically that I think can affect incorporeal creatures? I just don't want to make a mistake based on like my character might know more than my player.
You don't have anything that damages necessarily, but bewitch might work.
Okay. Right. So I could potentially just push them around.
Yeah, you could drive this thing back somewhere if you wanted.
I don't know if that helps us much. Okay,
hey, Jeff, you know what I'll say is if you want to blow one of your psychic points, I'll let you like psychically charge your weapon.
Right, like use my augmented attack spell, but with psychic power instead of magic power to sort of charge my weapon.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah, I'll let you do that. Okay, so go ahead. So right now it's you're going to be suffering the normal bane from cumbersome. Do you want to use your ardent surge on yourself then?
Yeah, I'll use my ardent surge on myself as well as my my spell.
Okay. So in your spell, so basically, like the net will be, it'll cost you 1 mana to cast a spell, 1 psychic to make it affect this thing, and then you'll be rolling with 2 boons.
Okay. Oh, 2 boons and 1 bane, so 1.
No, it'll automatically calculate the bane because of your it's got the cumbersome, like that. That's already built into the.
Okay, so I have to put 2 boons in.
Yeah, just 2 boons.
Okay. Holy Toledo! A 1 on the D20.
Good lord. Okay, so
right, I'm gonna spend a fortune point and try that again.
You want to
rolls so bad today. There we go.
There you go. Okay, so you know what? That's actually still not good enough. This thing is, because these things are very nimble. So you strike out of this thing and it shoo. What you could have done, remember, you can just go for an auto hit.
Oh, instead of re-rolling.
Yeah, so you know what? I'll let you just take the first result there, Jeff, because I think
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, like the times where it's useful to re-roll is like, say, when you rolled shit damage. You know, like, and you rolled decent damage on that. Okay, so this, however, I think you may have. Let's see here. Wow, this hits like as if this thing was made of flesh and blood. You psychically power up your. What does it look like when you charge up your great axe?
His psychic power. He actually takes a big inhale of his cigar, and the smoke almost seems to become like an aura around him.
Yep.
And then it flows out into his weapon, and when he swings it at the creature, there's almost like a smoke trail coming from his weapon instead of his cigar.
Okay, great. So it comes forward, and that smoke kind of hits this thing, and it hits like a concussive force, more like a the weight and power of it than the cutting effect of your axe, and it knocks this thing back. Okay, not surprisingly, these things are taking fast turns as well. They howl in fury, except for the one that's dazed. That one just sort of still remains paralyzed by Brent's incredible psychic attack, or Nute's psychic attack. All right, so this thing now, it is the one that you're facing, Oberon. It pulls back this long, thin, dark, like long sword, and it lurches forward and tries to swing at you, trying to recover from that. Nat 20.
Ouch.
Okay, so it hits, and it's clearly infuriated by your the type of attack you used. You take 8 points of damage, and then Nute.
Yes.
Thing dives in at you. That's actually a shit roll, I think, as well. 13.
My defense, I think, is an 18.
Okay, so yeah, you. This thing you've learned again as well, and this thing brings its long sword around, like the ghostly blade around over its head, down at you, and you're able to duck out of the way, and it cuts, passes by your side harmlessly. Okay, guys, that is the end of the round. top of the round, everybody pick. Well, somebody wake up James, and then everybody pick their fast or a slow turn.
I'll pick
My turn?
fast again.
Fast or slow turn. Go ahead and mark yourselves, guys. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so everyone's going fast. Oh, Rackus is taking a slow.
These things creep them out.
All right. So who would like to go first then? Who's taking a fast turn?
Oberon will use the same tactic that he just used and swing again at the one in front of him.
Okay. Go ahead and make a attack roll. So it'll be, again, it'll cost you 1 mana for your attack, 1 psychic power, and then just roll with 2 boons.
Terrible. Well,
oh shit! Yeah, again that's
my fortune point.
Okay. So you hammer this thing, and it just it splinters, and then sort of you know what happens is as you hit it, it suddenly collapses, and it's just a heap of like cloth and brittle, broken armor.
Oh, interesting.
Who wants to go next?
I can give it a whirl. I'm just gonna regular attack the dude in front of me.
Okay. No boons, no banes, I don't think.
Yeah, just the automatic one. So I will. I'm gonna try and punch him.
Okay. So you're ducking and weaving, and let's see how it goes.
How about a 30?
Fucking nice!
Holy shit! How did you roll that?
Brent, you get because you rolled over 20. You have triggered exploit opportunity. What's your? You can take another action this turn. You do that right away, or you can wait.
Okay. Well, because I hit, I will trigger my key strike.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that. I will let that do full damage. Okay, so that just what does it look like when you release your key strike? Actually, no, I think it's the same thing that happened with Oberon, where it's just it kind of like as if it detonates from inside, and you know bits of torn and shredded cloth fly around. You hear a crank as the armor falls to the ground. Who wants to go next?
And then I'll use my that extra action I get from it to recover my key focus and reset.
Love it. Hit it and you've pulled back in. It's almost as if like you're like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. You lash out with it and it comes pulling back in.
Get over here.
Get over here. All right. Who wants to go next? We got Halen.
Oberon yells out, Ember! Finish it!
Oh yeah, we got Nuti and Ember. Ember.
Flame strike. Or, sorry, not flame strike. Magic missile.
Magic missile. Oh, 3 damage. Nice. Okay.
Splat.
So, yeah, why don't you tell me how this thing explodes?
She launches it into its mouth, and
Which is the gaping hole where its hood is?
Yep. And it goes down.
It seems to hit with against an invisible face, and it falls back, and likewise, clang, falls down a heap of armor and cloth. And you guys look around, and that whispering appears to have stopped. Now, I need to get a quick pee, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Then I'll describe. There's something else in this room.
Oh.
What else is there?
Meat.
A sandwich.
A sandwich. Nice.
Bibs.
Hey, Amber, go step on that blue thing in front of us.
Nope.
And then sense it with your arcane abilities.
Tingles.
I'm yawning too.
Oh,
Been sleepy. It's been a long week.
yeah.
All right. Is anybody else gone, or is everyone here?
No, I think we're all here, I think.
who's sleeping?
You know who's sleeping.
Tonight, Steve will be playing the role of James. I love that because there was that one session where we could not wake up James for the I really should have just left the recording going and had like it'd be like one of those like burning logs for Christmas where it's just like
I think I have that on an old BlackBerry from a house party where James passed out, and I just put it on the audio on record for a while.
That's awesome.
I made it into his ringtone.
Okay, guys. So what I mentioned is that you also see now that you've you've had another moment to sort of look at this, take the room in. For one thing, when the portal closed, the ambient temperature in here went down by about 10, which it's not colder than the rest of the catacomb, structure. But when those
hotter previously.
Yeah, and when those things manifested, the temperature went down by about 10 degrees. So it was very, very cold. And Newtape, you sort of like you pull your shirt down to see what the hell happened. And having grown up in the mountains, you are very familiar with what frostbite looks like. And that's what it looks like across your chest. And it feels like inside, like where that thing connected, it just, completely necrotized the tissue. But as you're sort of looking around and trying to just catch your breath, you also notice that there are a couple of long crates that are sitting over here. They're stacked up in the corner. There's about 4 of them, and the crates themselves are about probably about 6 feet long and maybe about 4 feet wide.
Interesting. Okay. Is they easy to open or are they locked?
No, these things are actually open. It looks like they would have been nail shut. Like these are crates for transporting things. These aren't like a chest or something like that.
Often.
So these, as you walk up, you can see there is a burned marking on the side, and it is of a blackened arrow in a circle. And you push the thing open, and it's full of like very almost like albino white straw. And you sort of dig around in it for a bit, and you realize that whatever was packed in here, it seems like most of the stuff has been taken out. But when you persist and get to the bottom, you hit something and you pull it out, and there's a spear that has been crafted. And you look, and it's very similar to the weapons that the hobgoblins have been using. But now that you're actually looking at it fairly closely, Halen, you can see that at the bottom of the spear tip, where it meets the head of the spear shaft, there is an embossed symbol of a circle with an arrow in it as well.
Do we know what that symbol would represent?
No one's got any knowledge in like scholar heraldry, so I don't think that you can make that connection. I think I'll let Ember. What I'm going to say is that you're basically, it's going to be an intellect check with 2 banes.
How about etiquette and customs? If it's a marking,
etiquette and customs is more like dealing with nobility and stuff like that. I think history, like your scholar in history, will give you a boon on it. So Ember, you're going to make the roll with one bane, and then anybody else who wants to try and see if they've heard of this or heard anything about it. It's an intellect check with 2 banes, intellect challenge with 2 banes.
2 banes, you say?
Yes, please. Only 1 bane for you, James, because you get one boon from the from history. No, you've never heard of this stuff. If anybody else, whoa, Halen.
I'm rolling like fire. I rolled.
That's fucking cool. Okay, so Halen, you look at this and you're actually, I think when you think back to a time when you guys were first trying to form. This is back in Overlook when you guys were first trying to form the sort of a mercenary group, and you were speaking to a bunch of grizzled old mercenaries who are from far to the south, and they told you of a arms dealer that is said to be able to appear, or said to or rumored to appear in across the length and breadth of the world, but never seem to travel between cities. Their weapons were made of a dark, strong steel that was said to be marked with that same black arrow sigil. And the marking of the black arrow was difficult to find, when you could find them, but the secretive vendors, when you could purchase them, they would outfit whole armies, and they did not seem to distinguish between one or another. But that was a rumor, and that was from very, very long ago.
What kind of quality is a spear? Like, I'm pretty familiar with spears and stuff. Maybe I'll throw it through.
I think you're familiar with what to do with spears, but like quality, you've got no background in smithing or whatever. So what I'll let you do, Brent, is just give me an intellect challenge, and let's see if you.
I'll put it through a kata and see how it feels.
Okay, so yeah, that'll be the narrative sort of description of what you're doing. This is slightly above average. It's not like exceptional. Okay. You would guess it's sort of a mass-produced thing. So it's functional and it's strong, and it'll hold its edge quite well. But it's not like enchanted or like crafted by a master craftsman. This is someone who is skilled in producing mass quantities of passable, not passable, but like average quality weaponry.
All right.
Anybody want to spend a fortune point to retroactively have checked the hobgoblin's weapons?
I only have one left. I don't know if other people have more.
I'm down to one as well.
Okay.
I will waste one.
I can. How many do we have left?
Or use one.
Well, you should be tracking it on your character sheet. I don't think you've only spent one so far, Steve, though, that I remember.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't think I've spent any.
Nute, you had checked, and like there's sort of this like flashback scene where when Halen sort of talks you through this, you remember checking because you were to see if it was better quality than yours. Every single one of the weapons that you found on the hobgoblin so far has the exact same like embossing on it.
Mm.
The entire red hand has been outfitted by whoever this dealer is.
One patron.
So, apart from those things, and you search through and you maybe find like there's, a longsword. Everyone has a little on your main page. There's a thing that is right in the middle that says Fate. Someone click on that. On evens, you're going to be able to find a suit of armor that will be appropriate for Adric.
Where's the Fate?
It's right underneath your health, I believe.
Nope.
Odds.
Oh, there it is.
So unfortunately, there's not much in there. But what is he's armed with? What
someone's spear.
For his face.
Yeah, spear. I think that there's probably a longsword in there. So a longsword, I believe, is 1d6 plus 2. So it might be a more effective weapon for him than the spear is. So he takes it, kind of like swings it back and forth. He says, hey, it's not dwarvish, but it'll do in a pinch, and I'll make it count. Thank you.
Could be worse.
Where do you think this stuff's coming from? Are you guys talking this through out loud in front of Adric?
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
If Oberon's involved, it's secrecy.
Okay. So there's some supplier who's given this stuff to these hobgoblins. Who would do such a thing? To profit off of this, the misery that comes to the Vale. Why did I just put hobgoblin in his weapon? This is why I shouldn't type and try and do a faux Scottish accent at the same fucking time.
Not only that, where are the hobgoblins coming up with the resources to pay for all these weapons?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Very good point. Yeah.
Ransacking other towns.
That's a lot of towns to pay for a full army's worth of weapons.
True.
What's that thing? The view. Where was that?
Haven't a
What
clue.
was that place?
Nothing that I recognize.
I'll actually let so it'll be an intellect challenge with 2 Banes, but no, I'll say 1 Bane. It'll be intellect challenge with 1 Bane, but if you are, I think that the cultist would apply here, and I think that Wizard's Apprentice would apply because there's some sort of planar knowledge involved there. So anybody's free to make an intellect challenge with 1 Bane, but those of you who fit that criteria, you'll roll with no modifier.
Okay.
Holy shit, Ember. So Ember, well, Ember's already got it, so I think she's the one who sort of speaks first. Ember, your mind suddenly, you can't think of why you didn't see it before. You just say one word. Shadowfell.
Mm.
And Adric looks at you and says, what's a Shadowfell?
It's a plane
And
similar to our
you
own.
rolled well enough to be able to fill in. It's so part of your training. I think because of the part of what your order is all about, Halen, is guarding against the the threats from beyond the world, and that includes those that pass through the rift. The Shadowfell is said to be a haunted and gloomy place, a dark mirror almost of the real world, whose inhabitants seem ever envious of the bright and vibrant world that lies on the other side of the border between the Shadowfell and this world. The beings who inhabit the Shadowfell are said to be clever and sinister beings, pale, dangerous, and masters of shadow magic. Adric kind of, well, then what are they doing with the hobgoblins? This seems bigger than Brindol. Why take us?
I don't know.
His eyes kind of get big and he says, do we fuel that? Is that how they open that? And you guys rolled well enough earlier to know, Oberon, you're looking at there's no human sacrifice component that goes into opening this portal. It's
There
not
is?
necessary.
No, there
is
isn't.
Oh,
not.
it's not necessary.
No.
I don't think your blood was necessary. but some part of capturing you was obviously important to them.
If they can open portals, that would and it would explain how someone could sell weapons in large quantities without ever having been seen on a road.
Can you imagine? No chance of having your wares stolen by bandits. No chance of customs searching and finding your wares. Sneaking it in under the very nose of the authorities. But why out here? Why so far?
Because this is where the rift is.
Well, weapons have been appearing all over the place, so they must be able to make rifts wherever they want if they're the ones selling the weapons.
Yeah.
The question is, what do the hobgoblins have that they want?
Do you know the answer to that then? You, cowman.
You, Kalma.
I don't trouble myself with such things.
Well, he sort of looks to one side to where the doors are, and he looks to the other side to where the doors are. Just then somewhere further in here. Where are the people from Brindol? And what ungodly purpose are there? Those things you fought, those aren't hobgoblins. They aren't beholden to them. What are they doing here?
There is indeed a lot of mysteries here, dwarf.
Yeah, we won't.
Ember, just as a reminder, the Vilicus family is notorious for being necromancers.
Oh, we don't want to know why they want you guys.
What? You devil woman. What do you mean? What do you know? Don't shelter me.
People that used to inhabit this region were big into the undead. And you need bodies for the undead.
Bodies? You mean like they've got my dead wife? Oh.
Would not put it past them.
Oh, you've got to do something. You've got to do something. Save them. Stop them.
We will do what we can.
Yep. We will bring them back.
There are but two things the dead need to fear, and necromancers are one.
Necromancers. Devils. Beings from beyond the darkened realm. What has been unleashed upon us?
We don't know. But I tell you right now, we intend to find out.
And he looks, well then, where do we go? That door? And he nods to the right. That door? To the left. We're back where we came. You, White One. You seem to know where my people are. Where do we go next? In search of them? Or away, where we might find these devils?
All eyes turn to Mr. Fields.
And he takes a really big drag of his cigar.
Can't talk. Let him finish his smoke.
Okay. So you're focusing if 3. Oh, it's actually okay. So it'll be 3 banes, but with 1 boon. So it'll be basically 2 banes on your perception check.
You say 2 banes?
2 banes, please. Yeah, net of 2 banes. Oh. Thank God it's not below 0. Okay, so here's the what I think happens is that
no, wait. What happens before what happens is Oberon just starts hauling on his cigar. and he gets so super lightheaded from smoke inhalation and nicotine and just all the stuff that's happened today, his brother's stress, everything that's going on. He just has basically a psychic overload.
Well, what I was going to say is there's also the like psychic detritus of those shattered spirits too.
Oh, for sure. Just everything. You just
so you stagger back and you just don't know.
You actually see the smoke. It's just like before when he focused the smoke onto his axe.
Yeah.
He starts taking these big draws of his cigar, and the smoke doesn't seem to be being exhaled. It sort of seems to focus in on him. And as he finally does this big exhale, it starts to form into something.
Yeah.
But then it just turns into this like confusing cloud that just goes everywhere really quickly, and it sort of makes everyone start coughing.
I love it. Jeff, take a fortune for that. That was great.
Rackus goes over to Oberon, grabs the cigar out of his hand, and stomps it out on the ground. he's like, "Stop that!"
Like Oberon just like has this coughing fit, just like coughs and coughs and coughs, and when he finally catches his breath, he pulls another cigar out of his pack and lights it up.
Okay. So what do you guys want to do? Like what we'll do is we'll make decisions on this, and I might reveal what's next, and then we'll call it a session. I will remind you guys that you do have you can rely on other old school dungeoneering techniques like listening at the door,
Or
kick the door open and go through. Yeah, whichever. What do you think, guys? Who wants to make a decision?
We don't have any halflings to throw through the doors.
That's old school.
Yeah. Adric's eyes narrowed. He says, "No one's tossing this dwarf."
I believe the word was halfling.
I knew what you were thinking, devil woman.
Do we go left or we go to right?
Well, I'll go check the left door. Can I?
Well, who's gonna recon?
Me. Do I hear any? Well,
actually, Nute is pretty fucking awesome at it too.
Yeah, actually, why don't we send them both in either direction and have them both recon?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Be sneaky and quiet.
Steve, do you have a profession that you think that would benefit you for like listening really closely?
I'm like this thief, and I've got elfish ears.
Well, I'm thinking of your profession specifically.
Oh, cat burglar.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So give me a perception check with one boon. And Halen, do you have any professions you think might be applicable?
18.
All right, hold on.
Hey, Kev.
Yeah.
Rackus feels like he's eminently qualified for this as well.
Okay.
I mean, he was a tracker, so
sure. Yeah. So why don't you go over and in a very what do you call it? Un-Rackus like moment, you stop and you listen in. So go ahead and give me a perception check with one boon. And actually, you know what, Dave, you can actually, it's not listening. You're maybe checking tracks.
Sure.
So give me, again, it's a perception check with one boon. So Nute, you walk up, you can move yourself up to that right door there. You go up and you're sort of intentionally trying to tune out, oh, nicely done. You're trying to tune out the chatter amongst the your colleagues. And you listen very closely to the door, and what you hear on the far side of the door is two kind of high-pitched guttural voices. And it sounds like they're in a really unsuccessful way trying to be quiet or sneaky. They're not immediately at the door, but they seem to be fairly close. You, Rakus, you make your way up, and Nute is Halen is making his way towards to try and listen. And you stop, and you kind of like stop him. You're like, wait, and you look down on the ground, and you can see that there obviously is a great deal of dust. The phantoms that you fought don't really leave a lot of tracks. So it's fairly easy to see where things have moved, and there's a lot of boot prints from man-sized creatures, and as well that have about the stride, like their feet are about as big as men, and their stride are about as big as men. They've got a print like a military boot, and then there are smaller things that some of which seem to be wearing like sandals, some wear boots, some wear just bare feet. And there seems to be a good number of them that have made their way through this door.
Can I tell a rough number and what race?
Apart from what I just told you, some of the tracks are from a human-sized being wearing fairly similar boots. And then the other group of tracks are from a smaller thing, something that walks with a much shorter stride, and those are the ones that have the sort of grab bag of footwear.
And they go right to the door?
They go right to the door and through.
Oh. Is there any noise? I guess I should roll perception, eh?
Yeah. That would help.
Do I get a boon for being a hunter? Because
we're not in a natural environment, though, so I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, great, though. Yeah, still, your elven ears are extremely keen. You think you can hear... You can't tell what the voices sound like, because there's just sort of like little bits that you hear. They seem fairly far away, but someone is talking somewhere in a chamber big enough for there to be a bit of an echo. But it does sound a bit far off. It would be like maybe a room or so away.
I'll relay back to the group that there are voices in the distance this way.
And then Nute, do you want to share any information?
Yes.
And
what would that be?
I forget what I heard.
What did
anyone else
hear
want to remind
anything? I thought he didn't hear anything. There's just he heard whispering.
Voices coming to the door.
Nute relays to the group that he really likes cheese.
Nute is like, you know what? How come they don't make blueberry anymore?
Yeah. Yes, there was the whispering.
So he heard it
in the strange voices.
Mm-hmm.
Were there tracks? Sorry, were there tracks in this room of the booted and bare feet?
On that side, you can. Let's see. Why don't you give me one more tracking check there, Dave? Yeah, you were doing pretty well there. Give me. And you get a boon on it.
Okay. That's another. That'll be perception.
Yep, it'll be perception.
Okay. Blah.
Oh, yeah, 10's all you need.
Oh,
remember, challenge is a 10. Yeah. So yeah, you actually do find tracks, and these tracks are much smaller, and there only seems to be, there's a couple tracks going back and forth, but and I don't think you rolled well enough to tell what the most recent one is, but it's only that smaller stride, something much shorter than now.
Halfling or gnomes.
So, yeah, I'll relay to the group what my interpretation of what I've seen is. One print belonged to a humanoid, and however many other sets of smaller prints that I could discern, most likely belonging to hobgoblins.
Well, remember, the smaller ones are the goblins. The bigger ones are the hobgoblins.
Ah.
So he, Adric sort of spits in the ground. Goblins.
Little nose pickers.
Nose pickers indeed. I'll show them. He shakes his new sword. I'll show them nose picking. Which way then?
At least there's no snotlings.
We go where more or less?
I don't know. It's 50-50.
In terms of, I know you guys can't see the whole map, but where you sensed that person before Oberon was over in this direction.
To the right?
Yeah, to the right.
Well, maybe go this way. The leader has declared we are going this way.
Okay. Which is appropriate for Ember. Yeah, get a fortune stack for that. That's terrific. Okay, so who is? Why don't you guys set yourself up? Tell me how you're opening the door. There's two. Remember, there's two doors there as well, just like everywhere else in the crypts. Rackus and Ember are up front.
No, I left space for someone else to come in and.
Who wants to be next to Rackus?
Ember. He's taking the lead, so.
So there's Rackus. Nute, are you up there as well, or are you trying to hide behind the Minotaur brothers?
I'm up here. I'm waiting for the other Minotaur brother to show up.
Okay. Oberon, are you making your way through as well, or what?
Yeah, am I not there?
Nope.
Oh, you want me like right up here?
Yeah. I want you guys to position yourselves so that, and then
I see.
Helen,
Okay,
are
sure.
you staying way back like that?
No, yeah.
No, that's good.
Yeah, guys. What, like when I ask you to put yourselves in order, I please trying to do it all at the same time. Don't wait for each individual person to do it. Okay. So what happens, guys, is you reach the doors. Are you throwing like both of them open at the same time, or is it one person? You're just opening one of the doors, or what?
Always together.
Nice. So you guys, there's a moment where the two Minotaur brothers throw the doors open, and that's when we hear a and does a 16 beat your armor or your defense, Oberon?
Yes, it's one better.
Okay. And does a 18 beat your defense, Dave?
It does.
Does. Okay, so hold on. You guys take. Actually, I know what this will be each. Okay, so Oberon, you take 6 points of damage, and Rackus, you take 3 points of damage as these vicious little arrows stick in your chest. Look, grit your teeth, get ready to charge in there.
Although, Kev, if I didn't say I had my shield out, then I guess I didn't have my shield out, eh?
No, I'm assuming you had your shield with you. You would get the defense from that. So
then that's actually a 16 plus 2 for the shield.
Yeah,
so
18. Yeah, I rolled an 18 though, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would have hit you. That's the number they need to hit you.
Okay.
Okay, so you get up. Oh, you almost block it, but it does get through. Mark your damage, guys.
How many did Rackus take?
Rackus took 3. Holy fuck, Oberon's getting banged up. And we will see what happens, guys.
Next session.
So, first thing we'll do is actually I'm going to get out of the Roll20 thing, get back to our normal cameras, just to chat about this. Where are we here? Okay, so I can close this. I can go stop sharing. I can turn my camera back on. With this computer tonight, my goodness. I must be having some kind of update that's going on. Oh my gosh. Yikes. We're back on. And come on, run, you little horse. Let's go. Let's go. Let me camera not working? What the fuck? Hold on a minute.
I see Steve. I see me.
I see Tommy. I see Lisa. I see Jen.
What's that from?
Okay.
That's
Right.
Robert Room.
Yep.
I
The
forgot.
polka dot door?
It's cold.
The polka dot door?
Yeah, now I
Let's
remember.
all go to the polka dot door. The polka dot.
Wow,
That
that's
was wasn't
ancient.
it? Polka dot door was something else.
Was it? And she had that circular thing, and she.
Yeah. I remember that.
Polka dot door?
Maybe it was Romper Room. Hang on.
No, that sounds about right.
Okay, so I can't get my. I don't know what the fuck has been happening tonight, but I gotta maybe. Oh, here we
Nope.
go. Hey, look at that! I'm back.
Bye-bye.
All right, so a couple things, guys. So first off, that went exactly as I was hoping it would go. I think that the dungeon felt we didn't get through the dungeon because we never fucking go through the material that I think we're going to go through in a game because fuck.
I felt like we went a lot though.
We got through a lot though, and I think the sense of urgency was more there than it would have been with the 4E game. You guys are all going up a level. You are fourth level, and what fourth level means, because you guys all have the books. Some of you don't have the books yet with the your particular races in it. So here's what happens when you get in fourth level. To give you context for those who are new to Shadow of the Demon Lord, the way that characters work in it is it's a series of different decisions you make as you go up levels. The first choice you make is your ancestry, which is like your race or your species in any other game. Then at first level, you pick a novice path. And that's a very broad sort of like warrior, magician, priest, or rogue. The first and second level are that. And then at third level, you pick your expert path. And that's sort of like the more specialized version. So you've got a wizard, you've got a mystic. Brent, a monk is a mystic in this game. Dave, you're a berserker. Jeff is a psychic or psionic. And Steve is a thief. Then at fourth level, you get another ability from your ancestry. At fifth level, you get another novice path ability. Sixth level, you get another expert path ability. And then at seventh level, you pick your master path. And that's another sort of specialization. And the neat thing with it is that you can choose to pick, mix and match whatever fucking things you want. Some of you guys are built in that particular, like Steve's character is a more consistent, like rogue, thief, type, that which is a straight sort of line. Dave's character as well. Brent's character is a little more unusual because he goes rogue, well, maybe not rogue, but then I picked magic as his sort of rogue talent instead of the backstab that Steve got. But anyway, that's what happens as you advance your characters. You get to make a series of decisions as to what sort of path they go along. In addition, at each level, you usually have at least one, more often like 2 or 3 different decisions to make. So let me think here, who's got a standard race here? None of you guys. It's all from one of the fucking books. So the elves in the group, what you guys get to choose is you will either gain where is it here? You will gain a new spell, or you'll increase your health by 4. And the spell, so a spell because it's not an option to gain a new tradition. That means, Brent, you could gain a new spell from the battle tradition.
Okay.
From power level 2 or less, or you can take the 4 health. There is nothing else you get at 4th level. So those are the options that you two get to pick. James, you are a tiefling, which is a custom reskin of one of the more evil races. At level 4, you gain +5 health.
Nice.
And you learn a new spell, or you gain an ability called Bestow Corruption. When a target creature other than you that you can see within short range would make an attack roll or challenge roll, you can use a triggered action to grant that target 1d3 boons on the triggering roll, and if it accepts, it gains 1 corruption. So you can say, I'm going to give you 1d3 rolls, but then they gain corruption. It's you tapping into your infernal ancestry. You don't gain any corruption from it, but they do.
Yeah, but that in turn is an evil act in my mind. I'd get corruption just for doing it.
Like, I really got to bend your arm to try and get another spell. So
yeah, I'm going to go the other way. I want the extra 5 hit points and the.
Well, you get that automatically. What I'm going to do, guys, is for the elves, I'm going to check errata and see if they buffed that, because that's kind of a shit option compared to what everyone else gets. Everyone else usually gets health plus some other cool thing. So let me check the errata and see if the elves got a buff on that. But that's your option, James. You're automatically going to get +5 health.
Okay.
And you're also going to. Oh, Jeff, can you hear us? Oh, Jeff broke his audio. So he's trying to recover.
See you guys in 2 weeks.
Yeah. I'll talk to Jeff on our Wednesday session about what he gets. But Dave, because you are a Minotaur, you gain.
Yes.
Let's see here at level 4.
Uh-huh.
I was trying to find you.
A cup of tea. That's what you gain.
What? That sounds poopy.
I didn't say pee. I said tea.
Oh, okay. Well, that's slightly better.
It was, yes, here we go.
To calm you.
Ooh, geez. So you get +6 health, Dave.
Okay.
And your, this actually will be Jeff's thing as well, too. Your vicious horns.
Yeah.
Now do 1d6 extra damage. So that is badass. So let me tell you about what how advancement works in Shadow of the Demon Lord. Shadow of the Demon Lord is designed. It has in the core book, you'll notice there's only 10 levels. You play from level 0 up to level 10, and as you advance, you know at the end of each adventure is when you go up 1 level. And in Forbidden Rules, which there's a couple copies of it kicking around. James has a copy. Brent has a copy. There are rules for advancing past 10. And the really cool thing about Shadow of the Demon Lord is that, like I said before, you advance up. You advance out more so than up. So while you get more shit and you do more damage and shit like that, you're never going to be like godlike. You know, fights are always challenging. There's always a threat that comes with them, and healing's tough. You know, in this game. So it's the reasons I wanted to do this is, one of the things I have recognized over the last 2 weeks is that there's a bunch of things I was doing in the game that are, for one, different from the way I tend to run other games, and I think that it to the detriment of this game. The survival sub rules that I created for this as well were fucking stupid, because mechanically they work fine, but they don't line up with what we were doing in this game. A game that is more of a sandbox game where it's about exploring and going around and discovering things and stuff like that, and sort of going where you want, where the adventure and the story happens by in the course of doing that stuff. That's where travel and shit like that needs to be important and needs to take up time and have a lot of time in the camera. But in a game like this, where there's a fucking story going on and you're trying to uncover what's going on with that, all it does is it postpones the point of you getting to the next story. So that's fucking stupid. And that was a mistake on my part, because I wasn't recognizing what this campaign was about. Also, as much as I enjoy the mechanical bits and the tactical elements of 4th edition, I think that it's like me and James and maybe Steve are really the only ones who really get off on that. And if everybody's not on board with that, then we're not getting the best session we can out of it. And this game, it doesn't have the same degree of moving between boards and whatnot, and the nitty grittiness of it. I think that this session showed that there's still a ton of great tactical options you can do in this game. So it gives you some of that same nitty, like some of that same, crunch you can sink your teeth in for how to maximize and whatever else, and how to sort of optimize your characters in combat without, slowing it down to the point where, we spend an entire session doing 1 or 2 combat encounters. I think because it's also more narrative and easy, like more flowing in your movement, stuff like that, it's a less harsh transition from non-combat scenes into combat scenes. It's less, doing a different game. And as for the leveling, the other thing is that if combats are going faster, I love combat in a fantasy game. Like, there's just going to always be that, because that's part of having a dangerous and dark world that you guys are adventuring out into. But we need to be able to get through those scenes, have them fun and interesting and, tactical and whatever, but we need to get through them so we can get to the story bits and not lose the story thread, and get to the end of adventures so we can see you guys advance.
Mm-hmm. I actually enjoy this. 4th edition, you're right about the tactical. I could do without that, but I like the maps. I like the minis, the icon, the representation. The one thing I didn't like about narrating is he didn't have the visual.
Absolutely.
I like having the narration, but with the visual.
Yeah, and that's where I think this is a nice, by using we use the maps, and if we're using bigger maps, we'll see more zones. So where medium range things or long range things come into play more. But we can also, when we're doing things like, if you guys want to set up like a sniper scenario while some of you guys go elsewhere, it's easier to still use these rules and not have to fudge things. It's also easier because I don't have to, in terms of improving stuff, and so when you guys go, zig instead of zag, and suddenly I find myself in a combat scenario, it's a hell of a lot easier to pick up and run that with this than it is in 4th. So for those reasons, what my thought was that if you guys did dig Shadow of the Demon Lord, like the mechanics, then there are a couple of options we have. Is we can try and continue on with the story, and then I have a rough idea of where I would hit the milestones, and what I'll do is I will clearly communicate those. Like, you will know when we're finished this adventure, you'll hit 5th level. Then when we do the next adventure, you'll hit 6th level. And we do the next one, you'll hit 7th level, and stuff like that. And if it's a long adventure, there will be multiple points. So that, those of you, we all love, okay, some of us more than others, the theory crafting of our characters is a big thing. But I've played through Shadow of the Demon Lord from level 0 to 10, and it was so fucking fun to see my character go up. We played it where, the way the game's written, where it's it wasn't just one adventure, it was one session. So we play a session, we go up another level. Play another session, we go up another level. We played 11 levels, and that's it.
Yeah,
so, and that's, I think, what I would play closer to that, where we're going to go up, because each of the next stages of the adventures is fairly long, so it might actually be 2 levels per adventure. What that will allow you to do is to not only look forward to what your characters will get at the next thing, but actually see it in a reasonable amount of time. For those who, the thing is that these characters are my recreations of your existing characters. And while the story elements are still there, I want you, part of the fun of this game, I love building characters in this. It's so fucking fun. So another option we can do is you guys can rebuild your characters how you want at level 4. Or you can create new characters. If you're just not digging on your character, we can create 1 or 2, or if everybody wants, doesn't dig on these characters, but wants to play Shadow of the Demon Lord, well, then we just start a new campaign. So I'm not fussed. I'm the one who's imposing this change from one to the other. But those are my reasons for it. I think that if we, the problems, and we're also, to be clear, we're dumping my travel rules. Those are fucking out. Because it didn't service the game we were trying to play. I was trying to service too many different things. This particular campaign, at least, is a story-based campaign. And if the nice thing with this is if we outpace the game, if you guys hit level 10, we play 4 because you're already level 4. It would be effectively 3 more adventures till you hit level 10, and there's I think 5 adventures in total in this campaign. We still could advance beyond that. We can still see advancement regularly, and it's just that you get less numerically but more substantive advancements. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Well, first off, I guess, how did you guys enjoy the game tonight?
You know what?
It was fun.
I'll let you guys go first.
I thought it was good, and I'd be happy to play Kalen. I think I narrowed it down to 2 spells already.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, no, it was interesting system. I'd be willing to keep going and keep with the campaign because it gives us a chance to learn the system. And then if you want to do it different, if it sounds like they're relatively short because you max out quick, and then I'd have a better understanding and know what I'd want to do differently next time.
Yeah.
Try something.
Yeah, that's like you do get through, and it's honestly it's so much fucking fun building characters in that way. Like when you're able to advance at a decent pace, it's fun to think of because you can especially if you're building a character who plays against type, where you're like, you know what, like I took my first 2 levels as like say priest and then paladin, but I want to go something really crazy like engineer, as my next level. Everything that's in the core book and supplements that I'm going to send you guys, all of that is open for this world. So, like for instance, Steve in our other Shadow of the Demon Lord campaign plays this really cool expert path character that's called an artificer. An artificer is kind of like a engineering mage, and one of the abilities she's got is basically she's got a bag of like gears and shit that she can use to create items out of on the fly. It's limited by a GP value for what she can do, but it's really cool. Dave, what did you think? How did this compare to how the other sessions have been?
I actually enjoyed this. I think anything that brings it back to a more narrative aspect, I'm down for it. That really was the part of gaming that I enjoyed the most. I think that this will probably speed up the pace of play, and you could kind of tell even as we were playing today, where the flow just kind of in terms of movement and actions was a bit smoother. So yeah, I enjoyed it, so I'm looking forward to kind of pouring through the game book and seeing what Rackus can look forward to.
Yes. James, what do you think?
I really enjoyed this session. For those who game with me know that I'm a 4th edition guy.
Yep.
Not a whole lot of desire to do 5th edition. Even going back to 3rd or 3.5, wasn't looking forward to it. I like 4th edition, but I have to say I did really like this. For me, I agree. It is a happy medium between 4th and 5th, where you have the narration, but you still have the visual. I'm looking forward to the options in regards to the characters. I still really do like Ember, and I like actually what you've done with her, that I don't know if there's really going to be much changes to her outside of the advancement.
You feel free to swap out her grimoire spells too. Like when you dig into it, if there are things that you feel would be better, because the neat thing with the grimoire is it's any level 2 or less, or rank 2 or less spell, you can sub that in for Truthier or Summon Monster or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny because in my original build, I had her getting some of the summon spells too, to have like a meat shield in front of her. But yeah, no, and fantasy is also my genre. I'm not into the sci-fi. I'm not into Arkham Horror and stuff like that, like the other gaming groups who are, doing Call of Cthulhu. The insanity and horror aspect, I actually like, and I like the fact that it's in this particular case a D&D setting versus if I go on horror, I got to play Call of Cthulhu. I don't want that because I don't want to play in that kind of setting. So we're playing in a fantasy setting, and I'm still getting that horror element. So the corruption seems kind of interesting. The insanities seems also interesting. So I like that aspect. I'm kind of torn about the advancement. So I may even get the corruption imposing thing. Well, in some of my visions for Ember, like initially for fourth, she was going to be a pyromancer, but an enchanter, imposing her will on others and stuff like that. And seeing that sort of as her, I guess, tie in to her hellish heritage.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of torn. We'll see.
That's good to know, because there is Steve can tell you all about the perils of corruption, because one of his characters kept being offered. There's really fucking great rules for corruption, for corrupt gifts. For like, hey, want to learn a rank 3 spell when you've got a power of 2? I can give it to you. Go ahead, just take it. But it comes with 1d6 corruption that you don't know about. And that's where Steve was playing a character who was this changeling, which is like a shape-shifting race that was disguised as a dwarf, but she kept taking so many of these gifts that like dogs would howl at her in the street when she walked past, and she kept having visions of the devil appearing to her.
See, and I'm okay with some of that kind of stuff, but I was looking at some of the other manifestations, like you lose your neck and your head goes down to, and it's like, I don't want any of the weird stuff. It's like, so that was turning me off to the corruption.
Yeah, well, some of the stuff too, like it's appropriate to the tone too, right? Like this game is a child of two parents. One of them is D&D, but the other one is Warhammer Fantasy role playing. And Warhammer Fantasy role playing has a distinctly, British sense of humor to it as well too, where there is some stuff in it that's just silly, and there's some of that stuff in here. Like there's a spell called Hateful Defecation, where basically you make someone shit themselves to death. So that is
a non-spellcaster to pick that up.
It depends. There is always a route to something. I'm glad you guys had that interest peaked, because I was going to have that goblin that you were fighting, the goblin shaman, was going to use Hateful Defecation on you guys. And I'm like, nah, that'd be too silly. But yeah, and Steve, what do you think? Like, this is the first time you played Shadow Demon Lord with characters other than the last batch.
It'd be fun to try it out for sure, and then I can develop my character some more along some new lines, and yeah.
You can feel free to rebuild them if you want to, Steve. If there's like another, like you're really familiar with this game, so if there's a different way you see that character, like a different expert path or something like that, or a different rogue talent, you feel free to change it. Let me know, and I'll update the sheet appropriately.
Sure.
Yeah, because I want.
What level are we right now?
We're level 4 now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so you guys are, and then what I'll do is basically, what my thought is, it's going to be basically every 2 sessions we'll go up a level. Because we made, I think, one more session and we're done this dungeon. And there's some fucking doozies. And I can't tell you how much I was looking forward to that fucking portal.
That was cool.
That was, I know, cool. Like, it's like, oh man, that's going to be the thing that I think spurns like, wait, what the fuck is going on here?
Well, and especially to have like the picture there that, like, I mean, you walk. I mean, that was fairly visually powerful.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was because it was a planar rift, or it's because of the fact that like I don't know if there's a direct connection to that location to us disappearing all the time, or if it's just the fact that it's translocation stuff. That because we're popping in and out, that's sort of like a translocation effect, and I don't know if it's similar in that regard or if it's a direct correlation to where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that place looks like fucking hell. That's exactly where we're going. that is 100% exactly where we're going.
One last thing I'll mention to you guys. So Steve knows this already too because he's experienced this plenty in our campaign, our other campaign. But one of the other really fun ways that this captures kind of an old school spirit with also being a more modern game, every single magic item you found was randomly created. Randomly created with like what it is, randomly created with what power it has. And that's so much fun because there's shit that you'll find where it ends up being so much more consequential later in the campaign.
So weird.
I'm just disappointed that Nute got the those whisper dice and I didn't.
Yes.
I thought those are kind of
those dice are pretty fucking cool. Like to be able to use as a triggered action to then like beat someone. Yes. Also, Steve, if you notice, one of your professions, gambler.
Yes, thank you. Perfect. With my whispering dice.
Yeah.
To scare the other gamblers.
Yeah. Oh, so this is awesome. Well, guys, I can't tell you, James, first off, you were the one I was the most concerned with because, it's been a long time since we've had you in a regular ongoing game. And I really didn't want to lose you as a player just because we were changing games. Mm-hmm. So I got an ulcer that I can now finally have subside because I was so worried about that. And for Brent and Dave too, I know I ambushed this on you guys as well too. So I really appreciate you going with the flow with this.
Well, the thing that I find ironic or actually really kind of neat about this change, and actually with the addition of corruption and insanity, it actually plays into Rakus's backstory because, his people essentially fell to this kind of fell corruption, right? And so as he gains level, he starts becoming more like them, and so there's a part of me that really actually wants to see Rakus fall to that.
And I'm curious about the system. I really want to see it mechanically, how it plays and stuff like that. So,
Brent, I think of the thing that was most surprising is that the two builds that I was like, I don't know how, because I have honestly spent the last 2 weeks trying to convert these characters over to 8 different systems, just to think of how they would work out and what the comparison would be. I had 5th edition D&D builds for everybody. I was using obscure shit like the Song of Ice and Fire role-playing game, which has no rules for magic, no rules for non-humans. I was like, maybe this is a way we can make this work and whatnot. And then for whatever, I don't know why I didn't think of it, but then I sat down with Shadow the Demon Lord. I'm like, okay, Brent's character and Jeff's character are the 2 hardest ones to convert. How do I accurately represent these characters in another game? And I was able to very easily figure out Jeff's character, and then I've got yours. And to be honest, I think your build is more effective than what the 4th edition equivalent is.
And I think it's a more accurate translation than, I can think of a couple of archetypes that would sort of do parts of it in 5th, but not one that would do all of it.
No. The nice thing too is this gets around some of the niggly problems we've had with where the game hits up against the system, where you're like, well, Dave, you had a couple times where you've been like, well, I lived in the plains, why the fuck aren't I better at this thing? By using the professions.
There was a couple times where I wondered that, and I'm like, well, okay, you always seem to have a rationale for it, which made sense, and I'm like, okay, I can buy that. That's fine.
You don't trust me though. I'm a professional arguer. Come on.
Well, and that's fine, but at the same time, if it doesn't fit the storyline, then am I really gonna sit there and be like, no, it's gonna be this way, and I'm gonna sit here until I get it. This, I'm like, no, let's just keep moving.
And as DM, you do have the veto power, so
I do, but you know what? I like saying yes more than I like saying no. And I know, just Brent, also, I didn't. The reason I said no to the hunter thing is because for almost any other circumstance, I would have said yes. But the reason I said no to you for that and yes to Dave's is because the hunter profession, I think, is going to find a lot more applications than what just tracker does. Right? Like tracker's a fairly...
I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'd almost see it's almost like tracking is a subset of a hunting skill set.
Exactly, like tracking, by letting tracking apply in the dungeon, but not hunting, that gives it a little more utility than just being like, well, why would I be a tracker when I can be a hunter?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was,
you know what I think too?
Very cool. I thought the session was really good. The system is interesting. I don't completely know it, but I was able to go through the battle spells and like pick 2 spells to narrow it down.
That's wicked.
I can grab level 3 spells, right?
No, level. It's you're restricted by your power stat.
Oh, okay.
Your power is a 2 right now.
Okay. Well, I'll have to find 2 different spells then.
Will my mana go up? Or my...
Yes, when you guys pick new spells, then your mana will go up as well. If you look on for you guys, Forbidden Arcana page 24 is where the optional mana rules are. And then there are also what do you call it? Dave, for you, I know you don't have a copy of it, but Brent can show you. Page 14 has some other really great tactical options, like the goad action that you were using. That's in there. But there's other great ones like Overbear, where you just fucking knock someone over. Tumbling, Brent, you might like.
Yeah, I was looking at that just now.
Hey, where'd you get that? Where'd that come from?
Yeah, so there's some really great options. And then, so for you, James, on page 24, your power is a 2. So if, say, you pick a level 2 power, means your mana goes up by 3. Or if you pick a level 1 power, your mana goes up by 4. Like, you have to basically, you total up, the way I do it, because it's the easiest to do the math, is each level, you count how many level 0 spells you have, multiply that by whatever each gives you. Then same thing for
a higher power.
You keep gaining levels. I think your next potential, James's next power bump, I believe, is at level 5 when he gets his ability from Magician. Let's see here. Yeah, level 5 Magician goes +1 power. Level 5 Rogue, you get another. Nope, you can't. Your power won't go up, Brent, until level 6.
I'm looking forward to that. That's both Strike Like Lightning and Battle Progress look like both phenomenally awesome.
Take a look at Brent, the core book, page 57. Take a look at what you get at level 5, though. It's pretty fucking crazy. Steve, you get the same thing too, and it's bonkers good.
I'm still having to figure out how I got the 29 mana that I currently have.
Okay, so your Grimoire spells don't count towards that total. But all the other spells that you learn, each of those contributes a certain number of points. So each 0 level spell that you know contributes, because your power is 2, each 0 level spell gives you 2. Each first level spell gives you 4, and each second level spell gives you 3.
Now, where are you getting those numbers from?
That's from page 24 of Forbidden Rules.
Okay, and I'm looking at that, and I see the PowerPoints, and I'm just trying to figure out how you came to those numbers.
Okay, so you see where on the left side of the table, there's your power.
Yep.
You go down to 2, then you go across, and then on the top tells you 0 level spell.
Yep.
Each 0 level spell gives you 2 mana. Each first level spell gives you 4 mana, and each second level spell gives you 3 mana. You see that? Here, James, take a look on here.
Yeah, no, I see that. So I got to look at the spells that I have. Okay, so the PowerPoints don't determine the spells levels that I have access to.
No, your power stat tells you what access to power. So, like, when you hit level 5, your power will go up by 1, and that means you can access level rank 3 spells.
Okay.
Here's another. There's a reason you have so many more spells than everyone else, because the Magician gets an ability called, I think it's called Cantrip. And basically what it means is normally when you learn a tradition, you learn one of the 0 level spells or 0 rank spells. But magicians learn 2. So for every tradition you pick, you get 2 more 0 level spells. which means that you're getting like double the mana than what any comparable caster would do.
Okay.
That's why you have them, like, if you compare your character to, say, Corey's character, his character is an adept, which is a very similar thing, but it's not quite the same. He's got like half the mana you do because there's the amount of 0-level spells you end up getting is crazy.
Mm-hmm. But his attacks and stuff like that aren't based on mana, so he can keep attacking.
No, his almost every sort of like special, like magical special power is built as a you buy one of the traditions. He is limited. What his advantage is he gets a boon on all magical attacks, and people resisting his spells get a bane on it. They're more powerful. Plus, he's a sorcerer, which can do this thing where he can basically supercharge his magic, and when he get a boon on it, another one, but it gives him 1 strain. And then at the end of any round that he has strain, after gaining strain, he makes a will challenge with a number of banes equal to his strain. If he fails that will challenge, he explodes out in power.
Wait, that's Nute?
That's no, not Nute. That's Corey's character, Xavier.
Oh.
I thought that was the closest approximation of him, and I thought Cork would really enjoy the chaos that comes from exploding while surrounded by your friends. But yeah, that's it. So, well, guys, I can't tell you how happy I am that you enjoyed the game. It's like I said,
I have to add one other thing that the mic. Thanks. That's fucking awesome. It's worked perfectly. I was dealing with Cadence, so we didn't actually use the headphones. We left it set up at the mic, and I came back and we had no feedback. You guys came through clearly. I don't think there was any. It was just perfect.
You're showing up good right now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Do you put it, like, if you have a mic that you, like an external mic that you plug into a computer, is there normally a slot that's specifically for a mic? Because my computer doesn't have one, so I probably couldn't use one.
Nope.
No,
USB.
The mic is USB.
Yeah.
USB.
Yeah. It's and I've heard good. I was looking at before I got this. Dave and I got this as a gift from Kevin. I was actually looking at the same model because I know a couple audiophiles who swear by them.
Yeah, it's what I use, and I just love it. It's a great fucking mic, and it's nice too. So like when we have our gaming marathon, I don't need to bring my mic with me now because we switched the. Actually no, you guys have it set to hit ambient. I have mine. Like I've had sessions where it's in my living room. And I set the mic up in the middle of the coffee table, and it picks up everything crystal clear. You know, unless someone's mumbling. Drew has a tendency to mumble sometimes, so we had difficulty hearing him a couple times. But everyone else speaking at a normal volume, no problems. So that's awesome.
It's so much nicer and less frustrating to be able to be heard and not have to like repeat yourself or. Get interference from the speaker. Like it was a really nice touch. Thanks, Gavin.
Awesome. No, I'm glad, guys. You know what? It just anything that gets you more just focusing on the game than having to fuss with the fact that we're hundreds of miles apart. That's all good stuff. And money well invested in from my book. So okay, cool. So I'm going to send you guys some additional material. Then I'll double check that elf thing because that seems like that's a real shitty option for that. It would be worth between now and the next session too if you guys want to print off the cheat sheet, the combat cheat sheet. If only because there's what I sent you was this here, guys, and it's got like all the different attack options on there and all the different actions you can take.
Yeah, I pulled up a copy on my phone, and it was useful that way. I was looking at it while we were gaming.
Yeah, and the nice thing is it gives you an idea of how to improv stuff as well too. And I love that a lot of the options you can use agility or strength. Like if you're trying to grapple someone, you can use agility or strength. It's targeting their strength. And if you want to escape, it's targeting their agility. And if you want to escape, you can use agility or strength. It just is resisted by their strength. Like it's a really clever system. Like it does. Because like also your numbers, like the raw numbers are never going to go super fucking high. You still feel better like as you get higher level, but you're not getting a huge boost from your boons. You're just going to be more likely to get a 6. Because you're not going to be adding them together. There's not the logarithmic or exponential growth that you see in some other systems. So I know, because I've still, I've had a 7th or 8th level character who's been like suddenly found himself in a lot of fucking trouble. But yeah, anyway, cool. Well, guys, I am thrilled.
I won't see you guys next week. I will be in Florida, or 2 weeks from now. I might be able to log in remotely, but I almost failed at Disney World already. Apparently, you have to book shit super far in advance. So the only time we could get Kaden in at the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique for her princess makeover is at 8:30 a.m. on the 10th, because everything else was booked already. So gaming is the 9th, and I'll have to do that and get her there. We'll have to get up at like 6 a.m. the next day. So
if you wanted to show up for a princess makeover, you don't need to like pretend as if it's your daughter going. We're not judging at all.
Oh, and I had a weird father-daughter moment today. So this is a whole technology thing. Kaden goes to the bathroom, and then she's quiet and like, "Do you need any help? You okay?" Silence. Give it a few minutes. Kaden, you all right? Do you need help? Nothing. I open the door. She's sitting on the can with my cell phone in her hand. She was
Like, that's awesome.
Completely absorbed in it and not answering me. And like,
yeah. Oh, jeez. Well, listen, what I'm going to do, guys, just sorry, before we wrap up here, I am going to end the broadcast. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for this kind of surprise session. I will change the label of the video to the appropriate game. So I'll do that later tonight or early tomorrow at the time of the recording. So if you watch us live or later, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for making your way through the dungeon with us. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding the session, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will endeavor to respond in a timely fashion. I plan to post a follow-up campaign log video as well too, to talk about the switchover and whatnot. So if you have any questions about why we switch over from 4E to Shadow of the Demon Lord, please leave a question, and I'll address that in my follow-up video. Otherwise, we hope you've enjoyed joining us in this first foray into the dungeon, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks' time for the continued exploration of the ruins under Rivenroar. So thanks, and we'll see you next time.